And we are live. Welcome to the last word with Ebontis. We got a special guest in the building, E.
We do. Very happy to have. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. One little quick introduction piece for me just as well. Audio platform. Thank you guys who are catching this on audio. We are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all the places. And the listens keep coming. So thank you guys very much. And so keep tuning in. You can find it. Just search Ebontis, Lord Cognito, last word. You'll find us. It's easy to find. But in proper guest fashion, I'm going to turn it back over to Lord Cognito for what he does best. So here we go.
Let's go, man. So welcome to the last word, episode number 61. It's another glorious Friday, and we're back in front of the campfire for some looter shooter discussion. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce the Lord, not the car. We're going to introduce the Lord, whose passion for Bungie and the Destiny community is truly remarkable to follow. Not only is this Lord one of the masters of graphical visualization, but has the uncanny ability to showcase our favorite layouts in a clear and concise manner. Introducing the UX designer specialist and everyone's favorite Destiny infographic dude, the Lord of heroic public events and pure gamer at heart. Live from Minnesota and kind enough to make his debut within the realm of TLW, my man, Lord Nyrus. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm excellent and even better after that introduction.
Every time.
Good to have you, brother, man.
That is amazing. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here, you guys, especially after what's happened this week.
This week has been absolutely nuts, and we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. But somebody got a timer? I just heard a little timer beep. No, that was my. I know what that was. Never mind. My bad.
Okay, blaming me.
No, you're good. That was probably the countdown timer of the of it starting. So we are right on time.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, Nyrus, see if I can say that right. Keep it straight. Yeah. Thank you for joining us this morning. So how do people know you around the world of Destiny if they don't already, which they should?
If you've seen a weekly infographic or a graphic that explains how to do public events, heroic activations, or a infographic that has a ton of exotic catalysts on it, basically anything that was very easy to read and presented visually well that had to do with Destiny, I probably had something to do with it. There are a lot of others. That's not to say I'm the only one making infographics out here. There's a lot of very talented people making some very awesome stuff. But a year and a half ago, I just kind of decided that I wanted to create some design help for Destiny because, let's be honest, they don't explain every aspect of the game very clearly. So that I just I pump out stuff every week for everybody and lead up a Discord for that and Twitter and Facebook and Patreon and anywhere else that can really get it out. Bungie forums.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I've seen them before. I know we've chatted before when weekly resets get thrown off. We're both going, come on, Bungie. Like, you and I both are like, kind of dependent on those things being accurate. And then it was the one day we had like 7 nightfalls. I remember that being an absolute mess.
That was fun. That stayed that way for like an hour or something.
I was like, it's going to be a fun week. Lots of stuff to do, a lot of options, and then bam.
You learn a lot there. You learn to go for about a 10-minute window, and if it hasn't changed from 12 to 12:10, I'm putting it out.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I know for Zer, you're always putting out a really good graphic of his inventory and the rolls and stuff like that. And the big question we keep waiting on is the random rolls. Are they ever going to actually get there?
I know.
It's supposed to this Tuesday.
Yeah, we will see. So lots of things coming. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are here for the world of Destiny, you are in the right place this morning. Season of Opulence has just been thrown up all over us this week. We have 2 different everything. Constant Season of Opulence, and I'm like, I cannot put all of this together. So we had the first article come out, and then we had the full page of the season info itself. Then we had the TWAB drop some more fancy tidbits. So we've got a lot of things. So we're going to start with basically just the May 28th Destiny dev team article about Season of Opulence. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, please do so. Shout out this morning, guys, as well. If you guys are doing follows, I will try and catch those at the end. We'll shout out all those towards the end. But yeah, what do you guys think of even just the trailer to get us started so far?
let Naira start off. What's your impressions?
Trailer. I like first thing that I really like and stood out to me, and they commented on, is that they're not going to do a Vidoc for this one. So I really like that we have 56 seconds of everything to digest kind of in a way before all of the content hits, and we haven't had that since, I don't know. I mean, even Forsaken put out a ton of what some would call spoilers. So
good point.
That's stood out to me, number one. And other than that, I love the look, the environment. I can't wait to get in there and explore. But we'll get into details on the other page. I'm trying to keep it like
trying to space it out.
I know, right? But overall video is great. I really like just that it's a small segment, and the rest is left up to our imagination to figure out what we're gonna get until Tuesday.
Nice. Absolutely. Cognito, sir.
Yeah, man. I was very excited. Trailer definitely was effective. I like the aesthetic. What I think, much as I'm not gonna say Leviathan's like my top raid. It's not a bad raid, but I'm just saying, like, that probably in my top 3. But you can't deny the aesthetic. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's a very, opulent, what I'm saying, kind of thing. And you kind of appreciate the colors, the golds and the purples and all that stuff. So it's good to see.
Being from Minnesota, gold and purple's my shit.
I see. You already know. That's that Viking right there. That's the Viking talking. So I know you appreciate it, but yeah, man, it's just a cool concept, and you get to see. Obviously, we'll dive deeper. The things that they're bringing into the seasoning activities and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, we talked before, about coming into Opulence, and I had a little bit of excitement, and the trailer definitely warranted some excitement. So I'm like, all right, let's dive into this bad boy. Let's see what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much covered it. I like how it didn't give too much. It gave us just kind of a tease of what's coming. So I really like how it's not quite the season of mystery anymore. It's not everything is the world of Redacted, but they haven't, as you said, for Forsaken, we knew like almost every exotic that was coming. I'm like, people have already picked apart the trailer enough. So like, people have done that. And if you look deep, people have seen some things that are coming. But honestly, I like how they tried not to give too much. They gave the proper amount of tease, but they didn't throw everything at us, which is nice.
I'm curious to go back and sort of compare it with the other trailers now that we know Activision isn't in the picture anymore, to see if that was an outsourced thing, the way they used to cut trailers. Because thinking of it off the top of my head, like the other trailers prior, and this just could be to the amount of detail in them as well, but those things were like movie trailers in a way, versus this one was very small, showed what would probably just be some free cam gameplay stuff, and
right.
I don't know. I should do that and go back and compare.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What I would give for a free cam or a photo mode in this game, I swear.
Oh man, all right.
There's so many times I'm like, all right, let me jump up in the air, switch weapons, hit my screenshot button. I'm just like, that's how I have to get my screenshots, and it's an absolute mess. So give me a no gun, just display, just a photo mode for just a second. That's all I want. I'll even go look at Dolan Karim in the face if I can just get a good picture of her. But yeah, the next thing we saw was the Forsaken calendar. So they said this is everything that has been introduced in Season of the Forge, Season of the Drifter, and what we will see in Season of Opulence. So we've got kind of a bit more detail now as to what is coming. So we know the last 2 seasons, whether you've liked them or not, how it's been coming and things like that. I do want to say first off that this is probably the most amount of content we've ever had, like between droughts and things like that. From Forsaken, there was no Taken King drought afterwards before Rise of Iron. We have had stuff to do. Now, some people have not liked the way it's been delivered. Some people have had their ups and downs with, Gambit being very specific to a mode, but they have continued to give us little pieces here, nuggets of things, as opposed to just this big drop, which I do have to kind of give them a shout out for, because when you look over this entire, basically past 9 months of what we're going to have total for the annual pass, in my mind, it's like totally worth it for everything they've put into the game for like $30-$35. There's no question to me that I think it's, if you enjoy Destiny, I think it has been a really great thing that they've done. So I did want to shout that one out.
That's the caveat right there. Is, what did you expect for $30? If the base stuff's already there. It's for the people who want to put in the extra time, spend the extra 30, and you have a whole lot of extra stuff to do. So.
Yep. So for Season of Opulence, I don't know if you're going to read this thing left to right, but we'll kind of go that way. So for your free seasonal updates, the basic stuff that we've got as usual: power increases, vanity rewards, rank rewards, triumphs, lore books, Iron Banner, all that stuff's normal. We have an exotic quest for everyone. We don't know which of the 2 that we have listed so far it's going to be. We'll get to that in a little bit. And we have Solstice of Heroes we'll cover a bit later, just as last year before Forsaken. Now, the new stuff we've got the raid. We know about that. Crown of Sorrow launches on the 4th. Everybody's been doing their crazy raid prep. 6-hour grind. I know we'll get there later, but that emblem is calling to me for the first 24 hours. It looks damn good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but now looking at that emblem, I really want it and just don't want to leave it there. It looks really awesome. From everything else we know, one more exotic quest, some lore books, the Penumbral Chalice, which I think is the chalice we'll get deep into. But the big thing is the Menagerie. So I want to send it off to first Nyrus. I'm going to ruin that all day. In my head, I said it another way.
There's no
so
ruining it.
No, you're good. But the Menagerie, from what you've seen, just kind of a brief overview, what are you feeling about this so far? We got a little deep discussion coming up when we get to the TWAB.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about the choose part, the details. Obviously, at face value, a 6-person match-made activity. I am skeptical about somewhat, just given how the Reckoning has gone. Granted, that's 4, but I don't know. We don't know much else, like what other than screenshots and then what it looks like. It looks like it could have some of the raid encounters that we had in Spire and stuff like that. Like I'm seeing a lot of relics or arc balls or whatever is going on there. So I guess I'm excited to do something that has the potential to be another waved tiered activity with Guardians and the chance to get armor and weapons and stuff that I choose out of that. That's going to be really fun.
Absolutely.
I'm very much looking forward to it, but I'm keeping my expectations very real.
That's fair. That's fair. That's good. I mean, honestly, the way this whole season's been, that's probably a good thing to do. So, Mr. Cognito, thoughts on Menagerie so far? Just general high-level thoughts.
Excited. I'm a huge fan of Escalation Protocol, and my only Achilles heel to it was the fact that it had no matchmaking, and we had to do all these tricks and with blueberries and tell your friend to tell my friend and all this other stuff just to get in. So I'm excited. It'll be interesting to see how mechanic heavy it is, and we shall see. So I mean, I think similar to what Nyrus was saying, I seen bits and pieces of Leviathan raid encounters. I almost felt like I saw the Gauntlet at some point and some things of that, little shades of it. So I'm very interested to see what part of the Leviathan this is, section Department 2B of the Leviathan we at. But seriously though, it does look like a new space. It looks big. I'm excited about it, and it's just gonna be curious to see how mechanic heavy it is. But I do like the fact that eventually it's going to be heroic mode, I believe, right? And then there is a part where they're no, you have to match mix. So good point of entry, and we'll see how it advances.
Yeah, so I mean, in looking at the pictures, it seems like there's a triangular shield wall. I'm kind of wondering if there's a big open area, and if you have to knock out bosses to go around, and eventually there's one picture and screenshot where there's a big hole in the ceiling, and that looks like this large circular room where there's a lot of fighting going on. I don't know if you have to clear an upper level and then everybody jumps down in to clear out a final encounter below. But yeah, a lot of speculation as to how the encounter is going to go. I saw the people running with balls. But all in all, it seems like they say a couple things. They say kind of a random pathing, basically, where it's going to have some randomness to it. I'm curious to what level. How much is it go to the left and fight the hive or go to the right and fight the fallen? How much is it actually going to be random? Who knows? Or is it truly going to have some actual differences to each run that you do? So the randomness is what I'm really curious about, mostly more than anything, to see the replayability, because that's one thing they actually mentioned here. And if they throw it up, I never quite know it. But as Naira said, it's temper those expectations, because I can only expect so much.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you brought a good point up, because we've got the Menagerie that starts, and we've got Power Surge bounties, we've got all of that stuff coming, and the Menagerie and Crown of Sorrow both start on the 4th. So for your calendar, specifically for Season of Opulence, June 4th is when everything kicks off, and mostly when everybody's going to go bonkers, because the raid race begins June 4th, 6 hours after. So it's going to start at like 6 p.m. So I have no idea what my sleep schedule is going to be like. If any,
That's a mess.
no, it's going to be a nightmare. But Menagerie is going to be going active at the same time. So we've got a quest that everyone has to do. It's going to be kind of your invitation to the Season of Opulence. It's going to be how you kind of start crafting your chalice that you're going to use for all this stuff. And that's the one that everybody kind of wonders how long it's going to be. So as that's the first thing we're going to do in Season of Opulence, what do you guys expect for a length of this quest? What do you think we're going to do? Is it just going to be like, hey, Chalice, come back, do 2 things and go? Or do you guys think it's actually going to be like, as we were talking last week, I know we were still wondering if there was going to be any connection. So Nairis, what do you think? What do you expect out of this quest? Much? Not much?
Well, did anybody see Giggs talking to Dylan yesterday on Twitter? He wants to know. Because raid prep, and Dylan said play the game on Tuesday. So I just given the answer, I think it's not going to be very lengthy at all. I think it's going to be very much akin to our synthesizer with Drifter there. It'll be probably, here's your chalice, go run 1, and then see Benedict, and he'll do something that drops a pass, you know what I mean? And imitate. I don't know, but that's just what I see, because then it forks it, at that point. Then you have your thing for Menagerie, and then, what is this that I just got for completing 1 that I can go now do?
You're not thinking there's going to be a cinematic story attached?
I'm not expecting one. I would be very pleased. I would be very pleased if we did, but I'm not going to put that expectation in my head.
No doubt.
After Black Armory and Drifty.
Fair enough.
We got 2 cinematics in Drifty. We got 1 in the beginning and then 1 8 weeks, or I guess 9 weeks later with a little break in the middle. So we got a little bit with those, but it was, not what I hoped for. I mean, it was better than Black Armory, because while Ada actually had probably an interesting lore behind her, we didn't get much of it at all, which was kind of unfortunate, especially when you went through and did the final puzzle. It was like, you got a little bit, and I was like, but I want more, and we got Squad. So yeah, it would be nice to get a little bit more there. Biggest thing I'm going for, since this is a new raid, for them to actually show that maybe they can connect somehow this quest to the raid, a little bit of just story connection, even if it's like a decent voiceover line, some type of connection is all I want. Be like, hey, here's the chalice, you gotta go craft it from these pieces on these planets, put it together. Okay, Chalice gives you this little voiceover line, be like, all right, you have been summoned to, the lower Leviathan, whatever. So that's what I want to see. Don't know if it's gonna happen.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man. You requested things. I like that.
I gotta ask. Asking you might receive. Who knows?
I thought that might be too much to ask from an
You gotta try. You gotta try.
So it's not just random things dropping.
I am completely teasing it. Right
yeah,
now.
the one adventure that if you skipped, you have no idea why we're going to the Leviathan in the first place. I'm like, wait, why are we here? Why are we in the shiny ship of gold?
What are we?
Yeah, what's the purpose? Exactly. Yeah. Nah, I'm with you, man. I think if they, again, some type of context, some type of narrative, like I said, even if it's just a voice, even if it's like when you started the last Witch raid and Petra was talking, and just have Chalice talking about getting fat from strength or something. You know what I'm saying? Have something, and just tie it in really cool. And I mean, it is promising that there is a quest before you can even do the raid. So one could be hopeful there's some, even if it's text something, you know what I'm saying, to just tie this whole thing in together.
Indeed. And then I don't know if you guys have seen the picture floating around of basically the big gold barge that's going to float in Nessus. Yeah, that picture that I've got is huge. That was the one you and I were looking at, actually. That thing's like an 8K picture.
Bags.
Yeah, it's massive. So yeah, that's a giant picture they felt like rendering out there. So that is going to have some, probably part of the quest and either your connection to it. So I'm curious to see. Absolutely. But as they state, Chalice would see you grow stronger through the Chalice of Opulence, which serves as a guardian's gateway to treasure in Season of Opulence. Players who best the Menagerie, a new 6-player match-made activity, will use the Chalice to create an offering of runes, which we will definitely get into, in exchange for the specific weapons and armor they seek. And you kind of touched on that earlier. I want to stop right there, and we didn't quite have the TWAB when this first came out. What did you guys have in mind for how... When it says like specific weapons and armor, how'd you guys think that was going to go? Because now we've got a bit more detail. But when you first saw this, what did you expect?
I tried not to.
Yeah, I mean, I just the first thing I just thought of choice. I was like, okay, they're really trying to promote choice as opposed to, how painful RNG was. Because that's been a big complaint with Season of Drifter, right? Like we can't, get specifically what we want. So I thought that's a step in the right direction. I mean, that's literally, I still look at the Chalice almost like the synthesizer in some respect with the upgrading and stuff like that. But I think this is a new direction. I think this is them trying to listen to give us a little choice. That's literally just what I thought when I heard it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we know a little bit more, and we will get into that. Trying to keep this in real time.
I mean, first, I thought I tried not to, and then I set my worst expectation, which would have been what we had in Osiris with what we thought was going to be forging and was not at all.
Yeah.
So I set that at my very, baseline of like, okay, if this is what they're referring to, then okay, here's the worst that we've had this at. So it can't be any worse than that. And then looking forward to the other items that we've had, like the oven, which had different combinations of things to spit out something, and then the synthesizer now with the three other. The one where you do choose specifically, not necessarily which piece of gear, but which type of gear or set piece. So those two things immediately popped into my head, and outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen these progressions of player choice and things. They finally said Black Armory 8. Okay, pick whichever one you want to do. It's not on this weekly rotation. That was a nice piece of quality of life. It came 3 months later, but it finally got there. So those were nice to see. It's just the fact that it was interesting, as they say, create an offering for specific, and you're like, what does that mean? And then we get the graphics, and we'll get into that more. But it was like they're definitely making things very specific, and we'll talk about that more as we get there. But all players who have completed the Forsaken campaign, and this is one thing I really want to get your guys' opinion on, will be welcome to try the Menagerie once, as well as access to the Imperial Summons quest. So now the way I read that, I want to ask all players who completed the Forsaken campaign. So if they don't own the annual pass, they can try this one time. Do you think? I'm asking because the line next states owners of the annual pass will see new Menagerie. So it's like they're separate lines, and it says all players who have completed and that's what I was like, I don't know. If they were like, hey, you bought Forsaken and you could come back and try this one time.
Yeah, if you go up to the calendar there, the Menagerie is in the annual pass content.
It's in the annual pass content, yeah.
They don't get it. They'll get a chance. They get a taste.
Yeah.
Basically, here's what you could be doing.
And I think I think that's actually kind of an interesting way to be like, hey, do you want to try the Imperial Summons quest? Okay, you can do the Menagerie one time. Okay, now do you want to buy the annual pass? It's like almost a demo, which is
that's
if they
it's literally a trial.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like I like they did that, which is better than saying, oh, you don't have the annual pass, you can't even try Gambit.
Yeah, because normally they'll just velvet rope the situation, and you can't even look or touch or go in that area. So I agree.
So I'm hoping that's true. I'm hoping I'm reading that right for everybody else's sake. So Power Surge Bounty will be $6.90, and it is across all characters. Thank you for that. And then owners of the annual pass will see new Menagerie bosses introduced throughout the first month, concluding with heroic difficulty. And here's where things get interesting. Normal difficulty, match made. Heroic, just like a raid, you have to find your 6. So what do you guys think on that one? Do you think... So we had different difficulties in raids before, and they were not that different. Do you guys think do you probably temper your expectations the same way, or do you think they're actually trying to set it apart a bit more?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll jump in. I mean, let's keep it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I mean, I think it'll be harder difficulty, maybe an extra mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but I mean, if they're making that distinction that you need to be pre-made fire team, then maybe maybe they do have some extra mechanics that they need to add on it. They're requiring communication. So what do you think, Neris? You think that Naris, you think that it's going to be really deep as far as what's required?
I think if it's 6 people and it's pre-made, it's going to have something that has a handicap to people who are not pre-made. That alone sets it apart. I wonder, just given how we've seen a change in mods, if we're going to see some additional modifiers this season, some new modifiers that we have not seen that will take its toll on communication in a mechanic something in a room that that they found that 6 random people can't do with that thing happening or whatever it is. I don't know. That's at least where my brain's going with it.
No, I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's the point of like it emphasizes a piece of communication, just like a raid would. I mean, if you watch the Division raid, for example, I mean, there's no way in hell you're doing that without communication. Same thing here is like they're a point, whatever they're doing different, it's either stepping up difficulty, you're either just a bit more spun or squishy, but whatever it is, if you got to talk, it's probably going to be needed. So it will be interesting, but I'm kind of curious what that heroic difficulty reward will be, if it's worth it too. Because if you got to go find 6, it's like finding people for a raid. So
yeah.
Well, and that's the power cap on that, whatever that is going to be, because that's not going to remain a 6-person activity for long. Glad will hop in there the second week.
He'll solo it, and Esoteric will be right behind him. And... oh no, yeah, there's people that put my solo work to shame anymore, so it's totally fine.
And I think that's what is left open for the your imagination to try to figure out is what are the hurdles along the way that I need to make sure my build is right for.
Yes, sir.
So, Season of Opulence specific calendar, June 4th, we've got Menagerie and Crown of Sorrow launching. Some people will be in the Menagerie, some people will be doing raids, some people will be waiting for the raid race to get over. June 5th, once that actual reset happens, Crown of Sorrow will go back to normal. So, whatever, power capping is gone. So, if you're above that, you're good. And then, June 11th, we've got a new Menagerie boss. So, kind of the way they introduce some of the, like, Niobe Labs, but it's a new boss. So, it's a boss, not a new area, which is fine with me, I guess. Depends on how much randomness we got. And we've got our first quest.
Yeah.
We've got Truth. So, what do you guys want Truth to be when it comes?
What you think, Nix? What you want?
This is where I defer a little bit because my D1 experience, albeit lengthy and many hours, I did not retain much knowledge or exotic quest things that I know I had Truth. At least I
thought you never had it. I was like, dang.
No, I'm fairly certain that I did. Because I didn't have Gallahorn for the longest damn time. So that was my
Yep.
My what do they call it? My poor man's Gallahorn.
Yes. That's literally how Truth for me. Same thing.
But no, I don't know. I don't think really much. I just hope it's good. And I don't know. Rocket launchers aren't my shtick, but they're not
a lot of people's right now, I think.
Yeah. I mean, two-tailed I haven't touched since I got it.
Hardly. Yeah.
But I don't know if they find a way to make it viable and give me a reason to, it needs some help if I'm gonna have it in that power slot. That's it, I guess. But
good old horseshoes. What was it? Used to be grenade horseshoes and tracking. Ain't enough these days, huh?
No, even with like quick tracking. I mean, rocket launchers are so rarely used. There was cluster bombs for the moment of Riven, and that's even been overtaken by Prospector and things like that. Yeah, Prospector just destroys her. But the biggest thing is the clip size. Every rocket in Destiny 2 has 1 in the clip.
1 in the clip.
Do you think Truth is actually going to be the outlier that has more?
Has to be.
I mean that's
just of it.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, just saying. To me, it had to be. I mean, it wouldn't be Truth without it. I think but I do agree with Nurse in the sense that they've got to have an additional property. They need something, because if you look at it, it's Void. Two-tailed Fox is Void.
Void,
Void
and Solar, yeah.
Exactly. Void and Solar, technically, it's 2. But I think it needs a little bit of distinction because that tracks, just as well. And then the, Two-tail has that extra property with the DOT over time. And so it's
what
just
is
like,
Truth going to do that Bad Omens doesn't?
Yeah, that's exactly. Like, the way I'm looking at it is I have, what is it? What's that? A hockey rocket launcher. And I like,
Zenobia?
I got Zenobia D. I'm like, why am I going to take that off? You know what I mean? For Truth, the Truth has to do something extra. And you're giving me a quest for it, right? You're making this specific investment. So one would hope, usually Bungie's very good about, making enough changes to something, especially on an exotic quest that, maybe it get a little, I ain't going to say outbreak perfected levels, but it'll get some treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, we've got Two-Tailed Fox, which is void and solar with tracking and stunning and burning. I mean, that thing does like everything. It will literally like, or not, yeah, it like not stun, but it will suppress. The void will suppress and the solar will burn, and that's two, and it tracks. I'm like, how in the hell can Truth even compete?
Yeah.
I mean, compare just 2 rocket launchers. That one's already putting out 2. So I really don't know. You've got Bad Omens.
It's got to do in my opinion, it's got to do a mono and boop cannon move at the same time, amplify void damage and do splash void damage, and then let me switch to Recluse and just wreak havoc. Woo! If I can fire 1 or 2 truth bullets and then you get splash and void damage is amplified, I'll take out Recluse and just do the rest of the work.
There you go.
See, that works. So,
maybe you know what I mean, and I don't know. And then that itself has to get buffed to do some extra stuff. But
yeah, biggest thing, like Truth has always had the biggest clip size. The tracking was bananas, but at this point, I mean, if you have tracking in cluster and you don't have tracking in cluster, you're already missing out on some damage anyway. Because like Bad Omens curated role is tracking in cluster. I'm like, I get enough from that anyway. Why, especially in a PvE situation that's going to be involved in a quest, why would I need something that tracks as hard as it would need to for PvP that's going to have any benefit in comparison? So I don't know where they expect it to be used, but I'll be curious what that thing has.
Well, remember when Sins was all we were using?
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Sins and Curtain Call. Those are the 2.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Curtain Call.
Absolutely.
I had one of each of those.
Yeah.
So that was June 11th. Next week, we get another Menagerie boss in the Iron Banner quest.
Ooh,
so what do you think, Mr. Iron Banner Man?
Yeah,
Iron Banner quest, do you think we're actually going for a legendary, an exotic? Do you think we're getting anything worthwhile in here? What do you think we got?
I'm intrigued by it. I like the fact that they're doing something with Banner. You know what I'm saying? I'm very curious about this because it seems they're still in this experimental phase with Banner, right? They're still messing around. They had that thing where they brought in Rebuke, and then they had the Iron Burden, and they kind of take it away. They're still trying to find their way with it, it seems. So, you know, I guess if I had to guess, quest. I mean, unless they would have said exotic. You know what I mean? So I was gonna say maybe they tied an exotic behind it or something like that, or maybe some fabled, weapons from Banner from D1. That's the only thing I can hope. What do you guys think?
I don't know. They bring back like Fellwinter's Lie or something.
Ooh, let the sweat, let the salt rain.
It's just what we need. A broken shotgun.
Saladin's Vigil.
Ooh, oh, that was the joint right there. Yeah. I love that. I like it.
Is that the fusion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
really
powerful.
good.
That was my jam.
Yeah, Vigil was nice. I'm trying to think of some classic, some Nerwin's Mercy. I missed that. What else? I'm trying to think. There's some classic Banner weapons back in the day,
So, okay, here's the thought. You guys are like being nostalgic over like D1 weapons. After getting Truth back, you're seeing some of the other pictures of things that are coming back. Are you okay with them still continuing to use D1 stuff, or do you want something unique? What do you think? Because, I mean, we have stuff like IS Luna's model potentially coming, LDR 5001 potentially coming. Those we'll get to in a little bit. But there are more that seem to be looking like D1, and they just keep putting it back. Didn't know your guys' thoughts on that one.
What you think, Naris?
I used to be of the mind. It used to bug the hell out of me. I think the first, right when it was still sour, and we had a sour taste in our mouth from our vault being exploded, and we lost everything. To immediately getting back some, that was not a good taste. However, since I think it works. It works, man. Like, who cares if I'm shooting good guns and I'm having fun, and it just, I don't think about it anymore, I guess is the number one thing. If I don't think it's a lack of ideas or creativity or anything on that, part of it. If it's a quicker to market thing, then hell yeah, like keep cranking them out and take your time to really make some new exotics that are worth it. Because I would have to put this on a sheet comparatively, but I think if we take a lot of the D1 ones and put them with the new ones that have been introduced, there's not too many of those new ones that stand up with the rest of them.
Facts.
And that goes for ones that have been renamed and brought back. Whisper. I think that, I think the new ones have a lot further to go as far as exoticness. So by all means, keep bringing them back.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, E?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. It's like for a while, I'm just kind of like, I mean, even seeing some people on Twitter be like, it's another thing to shoot. It opens up the loot pool. And we're even asking for stuff from year one of D2, just like open up the loot pool, give us more options. And at that point, I'm kind of okay with it too. So we'll see. So then June 25th, the Menagerie Heroic mode starts. You know, people are going to be doing like a mini heroic race, I swear. Something's going to happen. We'll see what changes there. And then the gun of so much controversy, Lumina, the quest. So people are wondering, is this? Is this that? What's it going to do? Was it this thing? Like, what do you guys... For one, this is the year of hand cannons.
Clearly.
Like, seriously, somebody at Bungie loves... Whoever makes Quest is like, oh, another hand cannon? I could do
How
that.
many were mandated in the Activision contract?
I don't know. Somebody loves hand cannons, though.
Activision had the usage rates out, man.
Right.
Only because we've had, like, Lunas and Not Forgotten, which are kind of in their own mind. We've got Thorn. We've got Not Forgotten. We've got this one. We've got another question mark on the other page. Hand cannons are definitely a popular thing, so... I'm hoping this one can stand out. The big question is, everybody's wondering, is this the fabled and rumored Rose?
Rose. Good question.
And then there's another picture. Everybody's like, no, this is different, and all the other things. So it's another hand cannon. I don't know how much more different it can be. It does look like it has like yellow thorns underneath kind of the petals. Like the design on it's really cool. Like the art design on it's cool. But again,
how much speculation do we want to get into?
Go for it.
Let's go.
Have you looked at like the enormous size image of that one and gone into the details on it and looked at the inside? It looks like it's Thorn inside of that, as if we've reformed Thorn by light, the same way that Hive uses sword logic.
Okay.
We use light to reform Thorn.
Now you got me looking at it differently. Yo,
look at the end of the barrel. It's that angle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then equally the barrel, or the not the barrel, the
rotating. I don't even know what it's called either.
So that thing, and
Okay. I can see.
I mean, not too much else of it.
Every rose has its thorn.
But no, I mean, like that day that we got everything, and then the overview page, like, I'm sure you saw me going back and forth with a bunch of people on that, and then there was the Bife video, but lots of speculation on those guns, and equally, rightfully so. Like, it's one of the dopest lore stories in all of Destiny, if not in my opinion. But
Last Word, Thorn, all those. That, I mean, they made an 1.5-hour movie out of it, so
yeah.
I mean, that alone. So that'll be July, and then July 9th, right before my birthday, and pretty much the day we get back from GuardianCon. Shout out to everybody, by the way. If you are going to GuardianCon, Cognito and I will be there. I'll be there a couple days after hanging out with my wife, but we will be at the conference enjoying the fancy schmancy, what is it, Rosen Shingle Creek Hotel. So that will be, we'll be tearing it up there. So yeah,
look
for the two of us.
Opulent
Creek. Yeah, pretty much. It looks real nice, so it should be fun. We've got the Tribute Hall and Moments of Triumph, and they basically state, as we progress through the season, more content will come to light, quests will be uncovered, leading to exotic gear. The Tribute Hall and Moments of Triumph become available to explore and complete. Now, I have no idea what to make of this. Is this like, let me go look at a wall of all my lore, or all the triumphs that I've done, or is this actually going to be like an activity?
I mean, based
Let's
on...
played MK11 here. Sorry, I totally cut you off there.
No, go for it. Yeah,
the crypt?
Yes.
This could be,
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
That's what came to my mind when I read that. Like,
I mean,
okay,
when I saw
the crypt. Explain the crypt.
It's just sort of an homage to all of Mortal Kombat. It's the original island that was in the movie.
Okay,
and that's the only thing that gets into Mortal Kombat lore, which does not matter here.
That's totally fine. You're a gamer. No worries.
No, you just walk around. There's tons of chests. You take a currency that you earn in game to open up a bunch of chests and gain skins and stuff like that. And I don't think to that level, but just some of the cool things that you can find in there that are an homage to years past in Mortal Kombat. They could be doing here with Destiny, and maybe even use that as a way to sort of foreshadow what is to come, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic. I mean, one thing off the top is they kept the same symbolism from the last one. You know what I mean? So, which was one of my favorite. I believe that was the Guardian card shot. I wrote down there the blue one with the white.
Yep.
So I like it, man. It's coming back. I think it's gonna be kind of similar Triumph based. I think they're going to have us do a plethora of different activities to make sure we kind of experience everything, probably from vanilla on or something. Probably going to make us step foot in a raid or something as well. So get prepared.
Make sure you check all the boxes, do the raids at least one time. Go do your Spire of Stars that I have not done still. That one's probably going to have to get done.
Both, bro. I got to join you on that. You let me know.
I know.
Actually, I need that too because I need my Sleeper Catalyst, I believe. It drops from there. So
I'm gonna need that one too, and I need that emote so I can just sit.
The emote that just got fixed.
And just sit and keep sitting.
Grab a goblet, and just,
Oh man. And then finally, we've got July 30th, Solstice of Heroes. Now, if you zoom in on that picture, those ornaments actually look really cool, and it says Gambit is free to all. Even if you own, what is it? I guess just Destiny 2, period. My one ask, and I'm going to say it right now to start, those ornaments better stick. They better not go away after that thing is done. Otherwise, I'm going to just get real angry. So
they better not
revel. Even the armor itself needs to come forward. I know that was at a time, I think, before we started getting the extra slots, but bring that forward and allow us to upgrade that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I still have the Solstice of Heroes ship, which was just a pain in the butt because I think it was all 3 you had to max out, and I finally got that, and I see that, and I never see that ship, and I'm just like, but the armor looks so cool if they have the chroma glowy ornaments on there that look like they go with each subclass. It has a chance to be cool. Just don't take it away, Bungie. Don't take it away. That's all I'm asking.
Yes, please.
So
go forward.
Yep. They say each week owners of Forsaken will be invited to explore the worlds of Destiny 2 in search of treasure. Benedict 44. I'm hoping he's out of his little cavern under there. He's going to take a while to get to every time. He'll have different objectives for you to complete. 750 is the power cap. We knew that was coming. And that pretty much wraps up their basic thing. And then they're like, oh yeah, here's this page. Bam. And you go over to the page of everything for Season of Opulence. You got the trailer again. And first, it's got a little bit of, it's got the animation for kind of what's going on in the trailer. It's got a little bit of truth. You got an ogre coming up. We've got a minotaur. So that's the Menagerie we know. We've seen that. And this is the first time we see all these little runes. They say there's Leviathan's within secrets. Okay. Replayability. Carve your way through an ever-changing path of enemies. That's why I'm like, we'll see how ever-changing this is. I don't know. I don't expect anything crazy high. But then the big one, and treasure awaits. All these little runes. Upgrade the Chalice of Opulence to better refine which gear you earn. And the TWAB discusses specifically about it, but we've got all these different little symbols. Now, my hunch, also on top of that, just kind of how they did Last Wish, these little runes, they're going to be involved in the raid. I have a hunch. I wonder if they are. Like, because call out, purple lion or purple swords or... teal ship or something like that. I wonder if they're going to do something like that and use these runes as some type of call-out feature or symbol, or if that would just step on Last Wish too much. I don't know, but it seems like a very prime thing that I could see them doing. So,
I would agree.
Then we've got the new raid. Of course, we don't know much about that. It's just a big opening. So that's literally all we know. And then we scroll down to the new weapons and armor. So we've got 20 images here of different ones. First look, what do you guys see? Anything stand out to you guys? Anything look cool? Are you getting the theme? Any question marks? Any exotics you see here? Stuff like that?
It's too busy for my taste.
Nobody likes
too much. He's like, I want that proper spacing, that UI, so much going on. Gotta have it proper. Gotta have it near style.
There's a lot going on these armors. I hope there's some ornaments to kind of flatten that out.
Y'all gotta get opulent, man. Come on.
I'm all for my trinkets and stuff, but
Trinkets,
I don't
man.
know.
Not feeling it. Not feeling it is.
We'll see how it looks it's easy to judge it at face value. So
You about to just throw a fly little shade on that, man.
yeah, no, I was thinking. I mean, there was a few of them that popped out where I'm just like, okay, well, that one might look, but like the scarab beetle on the arm for the hunter, I'm like, miss me with that.
Isn't that
The
Khepri's
Khepri's
sting?
sting,
Isn't that the
disrespect.
exotic Khepri sting though? Isn't that what that is?
He like throw that in the
Teach their own.
So yeah, that's one of the speculations. Is that's Khepri sting with the beetle on the arm.
Yes,
In the trailer, people are saying they're seeing Peregrine Greaves. That's another one because you got the big gems on the knee and the shin.
Yeah.
You got truth in here, obviously. You got a couple. You got a hand cannon. One thing I was going to point out: outside of the hand cannon, you have a submachine gun, sniper, swords, sidearm, shotgun, fusion.
Yes.
There's next to no primaries on here outside of that hand cannon. No scouts, no pulses, no autos, none listed anywhere in here. I'm like, is that specific? Are you guys showing us what we're not going to get, or just not putting it all in there? I'm hoping so.
Hopefully they're just not putting it all in there. I wouldn't want it all on there anyway. The same way they did the trailer. No Vidoc. Don't show me everything.
Seriously. But the one question everybody has, the gray plain gun in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, that's weird.
So what have you guys heard about this thing? Because it seems to spawn a whole lot of speculation for being just a gray revolver.
I haven't heard, what is the speculation? I'm just curious.
Do you know,
Because
Nyrus?
I haven't heard much. I haven't much about
That it is rose.
it. That is Rose?
Yep.
That plain looking.
Well, I did some things.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, I just put the two images over each other. I put Thorn, and it is a literal, almost replica, except for the barrel location.
For the barrel location.
Literally everything.
Because it's got the angle in the front, the handle's
Grip.
almost identical. Yeah, the grip.
Trigger, hammer, literally where everything is. It's to the T, except for the barrel location.
Interesting.
So you've got Lumina, you've got that thing, you've got Thorn, and we don't know if that's going to be some weird in between. I'm kind of curious. So
Yeah, the speculation is that could maybe be the introduction of the Lumina Quest. Who knows?
well, they used to do that before too. They'd give you a crappy gun, then let you upgrade it. Kind of the way they did Polaris Lane, so you kind of get the legendary and then maybe turn it into the exotic.
Yeah.
Might be something. So it's just it's the one that stands out as being very plain compared to everything else being very golden, purple, and opulent. So
Yeah, exactly. It definitely stands out in that regard.
so they're saying something about it, but we don't know what.
And shout out to my Astro Sight verse that was useless. That's coming back that I don't see here.
Yeah, that's in the
missed it,
trailer.
Joe.
Yeah, your astrocyte verse. What did that do before? I honestly forget.
Oh, it was the worst. It literally like just extended blink or something like that.
Oh.
And it was very minimal and very useful. But it was one of the coolest looking Warlock helmets. So that has to be redone. That has to be given some flavor to it and extra properties. Because I mean, come on, I can't just see the blink property coming back like, hey, we're finished. It's back. So yeah, I think they recognize that was a cool design. They wanted to and give it a functionality.
So, yeah, gameplay updates, Power Surge, of course. You have the first quest. It's nice that it's account wide. Everybody will get up to 690 if they do that one. If they've taken a break, it's a nice time to come back. Iron Banner, exotic weapons and armor. And then we get down to what are the things you guys want to earn? Your Pinnacle weapons. So I want to take a second, go over each one, and then we'll break down all of them one by one. So you've got Revoker, which is your Crucible one. Missed shots are returned to the magazine after a short duration. Wendigo GL3, Orbs of Light, increase blast radius and damage. Hipfire precision shots for Hush, which is the Gambit one. Hipfire precision shots give a massive draw speed bonus. Now I'm going to jump ahead to the TWAB, just because these are given a bit more detail in there, so I can talk intelligently about them. First one to talk about is going to be the Revoker. So the unique perk is Reversal of Fortune. Missing a shot returns the bullet to the magazine after a short duration. Even the greatest of snipers is not a perfect sharpshooter, and you miss every shot you don't take. So basically they're saying get in there and take the shot. Revoker was built with the mindset that you should always go for it, and keep in mind that Reversal of Fortune can only return a single bullet at a time. Along with its unique perk, the sniper has a custom low-zoom ambush SLH-25 scope and snapshot for those close quarters battles. First, what do you guys think about the gun, and then we'll go over how you actually get it. What do you guys think of this perk? Do you think it's... What do you think?
What you think, man?
It'll be interesting to see how it works. I like that it is on the lower RPM sniper, because forgiving shots on a rapid fire sniper would just be not great. It'd be so I it's not a pinnacle weapon in the sense, like when you put it, with Recluse and Luna. Just reading the perk itself, I think there's something we're missing. They're not telling us there. Has to be. I can't see this. But equally, or conversely, I should say that the requirement for it equals the effort I think that you get from a gun. If that is it, if for a gun that's going to forgive bullets, you should be forgiven matches as well.
Guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's the key part.
I mean, I'll get it either way. I'm more excited to see what we're missing, because I do think that there is something that isn't being said there with this gun. Just something that returns a bullet. That's 4 times a charm almost, or
triple tap, or
triple tap. So
mulligan is basically what
mulligan.
it is.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mulligan. There we go. That's one. So yeah, I just there's got to be something that can't be just that. It can't.
You don't seem thrilled by that perk.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's in the kinetic slot. It's going to be a legendary. It's going to be masterwork. It's just that when I put them on those same tiers as when I'm looking at Recluse and Luna's Howl, what is so great about a Forgiven Shaman versus Magnificent Howl or Master of Arms? That it's not there. It's not even near those two. So.
Yeah, good point. I mean, I'll jump in if you finish it. I mean, I agree. Yeah, this one is weird. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the concept is okay, but like Nari said, it's one of those things where I was actually not even impressed by the sniper. I was more impressed by how the options of acquiring it and how that changed. And I'm like, oh, this is due. So we want to touch on that. I can jump right into it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, which is like, okay, you're not losing progress. So basically, you need to earn 3,500 total glory. You don't lose progress when losing a match. So that's different. So they basically wanting everybody to join in on the fun. So in that respect, I'm like, okay, now the question becomes, does this go across the board? Is this specific to Revoker? Like, is this the new wave now with Pinnacle? Like, what do you guys think?
Oh, it is. It's specific to Revoker.
Okay.
I was asking about this because I was like, I'm going for Not Forgotten. I'm getting everything this season. I already got Luna's, but no, I was very curious about that too, because it with Crucible not having many changes at all. I thought that might, a lot of Guardians would feel inclined to get in there and try to do some things that they haven't in past seasons. However, that's how this one is being tracked differently, because on the quest itself, it's just cumulative glory versus you will still lose glory rank if it's not involved with Revoker.
Right.
So you just basically need to accumulate enough wins to hit 3,500 glory. But your rank is going to go up and down just as it always does. So lose a match, you won't lose progress towards the gun, but lose a match, you might be 0 rank. You might go up and down between 60 if that's all you're doing. So, I'm with you guys, though, as you look at, I mean, it is basically a sniper with mulligan. Now, in theory, my wonder is like, some people are wondering, would this thing have less flinch? Would it be, would that make it worthwhile if a sniper with less flinch is that hidden perk? Is it something that allows, enhanced unflinching sniper aim is actually imbued into the gun instead of a piece of armor? Something like that. But is it also, my curiosity is like, there are certain people who snipe, but there's not a lot of people who feel like sniping feels good right now. And is this a way for are they trying to almost force sniping into places? But unfortunately, the other pieces I heard somebody say, we need a map or we need space to do the sniping.
Right.
There's a couple maps, whatever Protheon is called now, I forget, but whatever it used to be was Protheon. That's a true sniping map with lanes, like a couple of them that work pretty well, but a lot of them do not fit. I mean, people will do no drag scopes and crazy shots in a couple places, but a lot of the maps are too small for snipers in the first place. And I wonder if they're just like, hey, you guys should totally try this. It's a low zoom scope. I'm like, but it's still a sniper. And I'm of the crazy opinion of like, you know, when you get flinched by a sniper, when I shoot somebody with like my pulse rifle and I hit him with 4 bullets and they can still land that snipe shot, that pisses me off because I'm like, and I know, but that's the argument everybody goes back and forth is like, well, you know, there shouldn't be flinch. I'm like, I just hit you a couple times. You shouldn't be able to hit like a pinpoint accurate shot across the map if I did hit you a couple times. So that's kind of a debate some people would probably hate me for, but just more people sniping may be their goal. I don't know, but just the fact that it's mulligan feels, I mean, as you said, I grinded Lunas. That is one hell of a quest. Like,
right.
I mean, I finished that thing up this month. I got 2100 Fabled. I got Recluse as well, but Lunas is holy crap. And I mean, it feels good. You hit the 2 and then 3 and you're just like, damn. And then this is just like, I get a bullet. Like it does. It feels very, I mean, that's literally what it's like. Oh, I missed. Yeah. Let me hide and cover. Okay, let me try again. Like all it is giving you incentive to do it more, but not really giving you, as somebody said, it's like if I mean, True Vanguard, I think it was the one, he had a thought about it and he was just like, so if I go on a tear, it's like, you know, Recluse, I can go and just start mowing people down. Loon is like, I get that perk and start stacking and multiplying the kills. This one is like, if I hit my shots, I don't get the perk to activate.
Yeah.
Like when you are good with a sniper, you don't get anything out of this weapon, which sounded really, really backwards. So I don't know. Like this one, of course, yes, I'm probably going to go for it. But it does seem like, I hope there's something, like you said, Nairis, that we're missing, because if it doesn't, this is pretty lackluster.
Yeah, gotta agree.
So then, let's go up to Vanguard, which actually might be the most intriguing for a change. The Wendigo GL3, it's an arc adaptive grenade launcher, so it'll be a heavy drum slot. Wendigo's GL3's unique perk is Explosive Light. Picking up an orb of light increases the next grenade's blast radius and damage. Unlike most drum grenade launchers, Wendigo comes with blinding grenades as its magazine option for some added utility to shut down teleporting captains or Cabal gladiators that get in your face. You can carry up to 6 grenades enhanced by Explosive Light, so be sure not to let any orbs of light slip through your fingers when you've got this equipped. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, man. I mean, interesting. This orb of light thing. I'm very curious how it's going to be implemented, right? You know, is it a situation when you're at full super? Does it still have its effectiveness? You know, how can you stow it? You know, like how is that going to play? I mean, they're saying that you can carry up to 6 enhanced. You know, is this like working in Memento Mori fashion?
Yeah.
Like how big is the explosion too? You know what I mean? Like we got to see, you know, a lot of this is still going to be trial and error when, you know, for testing. In theory, it sounds like it could be cool. I just got to see how it's implemented. What you guys think?
Go ahead, Nairis.
I think, yeah, in theory, it sounds really cool. I'm glad they explained or used their third bullet point, or no, the latter half of their second bullet point, sorry, to kind of describe an instance, because I wasn't too hyped up on it, and that just them mentioning that kind of in a way gives me a little bit of hope for more build diversity.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like give me a challenge where one of our guys has to have a Wendigo on him. Like there's too many of those damn captains running around. We got somebody's got to have a Wendigo. We got to shut those down. Like you know, I think that more than anything than the gun itself made me think of the possibilities of how it can get used. And like you said, Lord, how is it going to work with the orbs? Does that, you know, does it stack? Is it for every next bullet in the drum? You know, considering it says carry up to 6. So if I grab 6 orbs, are all 6 in the drum now? Ready to go.
You just dump crazy damage.
But if they're blinding, what's the point? You know, like I guess they're just on deck then. I don't know. We'll have to get it in our hands and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's got blinding grenades pretty much all the time, which I guess is just a function of what you'll be able to use it by. The explosion piece is like, if the blast radius is bigger and the blinding has a bigger area of effect, that has a chance to be efficient. But I think, as you're saying, Cognito, the Momentum Mori is like, is it going to be explosive light times 6, and you fire, and it's like times 5, times 4, times 3, times 2, like as you use them. And then I guess the question is, like, while it's equipped that you can pick them up, and it says equipped, not like holding it. So even if you're like running around picking up orbs, it still should be stacking them on top of, your heavy, and then you should be able to switch over and pull it out. That's the hope. And honestly, like for grenade launchers, for boss damage, honestly, grenade launchers actually are in a pretty decent spot. If you need to dump them out, whether it's like a rally barricade or lunafaction boots on a weld, is still just broken damage, which is great. You can do so much. Like Prospector, we know breaks Riven. I was doing Warden of Nothing the other day and had Prospector out and just absolutely annihilated the Warden. So, I mean, there are certain points where grenade launchers are feeling okay. You got to be a little more accurate, but I think this one, as you guys are saying, it has potential. So, definitely better, sounding better than Crucible for a change, which is Vanguard's kind of got crapped on for a little while. I mean, Loaded Question has like the one bullet of moment, and then you got Scout Rifle. That it's just a Scout Rifle. They need love.
But oxygen.
Yeah. But then we've got a Gambit. We've got a Solar Precision Combat Bow. Hush's unique perk is Archer's Gambit. Hip fire precision hits grant a massive draw speed bonus for a short duration. Now, it says hits, not kills, so it does just take a hit. This weapon is for those who would proclaim mastery of the combat bow. Archer's Gambit pays out a significantly better than Archer's Tempo, but it's going to take a more skilled hand to get the most out of it. Make those shots count. So, thoughts on this one?
Meh. I ain't feeling this, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. This one, I was like, I'm not running around hip firing from bows. That's just me. It's just me. I mean, maybe I'm just terrible. Maybe it's some functionality that I can't, see right now because obviously I don't have my hands on it. But I don't know. I'm just like, maybe it's me. I was underwhelmed with these Pinnacle weapons, y'all. Like, I was just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to sniper that missing shots, get your little bullet here and there. All right, Wendigo could be the coolest of the three.
Yeah. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? That could be powerful. Maybe it gives us that Loaded Question, power. But Hush, I'm like, I am not excited. Like, unless I see, one of the content creators come out and, cross these guys and they're like, oh my God, it's doing this and that. Maybe, but it gives you a massive draw speed bonus. Like, it's just not setting my heart on fire. I'm not doing jumping jacks right now. What about you guys? Am I going too hard on it? Like, what do you guys feel?
First reaction is,
like, who said, yo, you know what they need?
they need that hip fire bow.
Third, just the thought again back to kind of with Revoker. I think there's something we're missing here. I think patch notes are going to lend themselves to a massive bow buff. It has to make this thing viable. They have to. There's absolutely no reason for this to exist if it's not.
Like, bro, like it was like they got easy in the Pinnacle team, but like I don't know, man. I think you're onto something here. I think it could be a situation where these three archetypes could be buffed come patch notes. And then in addition, then obviously we see a little bit more effectiveness, but it's just a weird perk about hip firing with bow. What do you feel about hip firing with a bow?
I mean,
or they're just going to take the same route that they're going with the kind of the same way in the trailer. And this season, these might only be a hint, like, cause let's be honest, when we look back at the other seasons and we go, what was shown, how much information were we given, and what did everybody say as a result of it? They didn't want, you know what I mean? People were like, let's dial it back here. Let us be surprised. Let us find things out, right? I wouldn't be surprised to find that each of these guns have something else on them. And we're being misled almost in a way.
Okay.
I hope that's wishful thinking, but it could go that route. They're just too basic to me. In the event that it does go that route, that it's unfortunate. I hope for some patch notes that buff them, but I'm maybe a little hopeful that we're being misled.
E, I'm tired of hearing you on this bro. I want to hear E talk about Hush. That's what I'm here for.
What does he got? What do you got?
What you got for Hush, man?
I can't even follow you two. You guys already pretty much said most of it. The only thing I can think of where it actually could have some function. If you picture a primeval, a boss, something with a big head, where you don't have to aim that hard, and you can honestly just start going thump, 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 thump. Because bows in and of themselves, I've used like bows in Destiny like blew my mind. I was like, what? Hold on, they're coming to space. I have a bow. What? And then honestly, I'll go through Shattered Throne. I'll use Subtle Calamity for like half the damn thing. So like it has moments to where like that single shot can hit hard, and if it can hit hard quickly on a big target, that's about the only place I could see be like, hey, you pop a shield, bam, 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 and if it's able to do it over and over and over, potentially could be a lot of damage. But again, you do have to be accurate. You have to earn it. But that's the only place I could actually see it being useful. Just walking around and be like, oh, here's a legionary, boom. Oh, here's this other guy, boom, boom, boom. I was like, it's going to be hard to be turning and accurate on ads, but on single major boss damage, and as you usually have like 60 bullets or 60 arrows in a bow, you have a lot of ammo that can potentially pump out a lot of damage quickly. That's the only place that I've come up in my head that I can see it being useful. But generally, it was like, my first thing was yours. I was like, hipfire. I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me? That was that was my first reaction, because, I mean, hipfire from a bow was... No, seriously, like, I was like, you want to be precise with the bow, and now you're telling me to shoot it like Last Word, which I suck with anyway. I'm like, oh, crap.
Thank you.
So
what if we get an exotic piece of armor that amplifies cumulative precision bow shots?
That work in tandem with it. Yeah, I see what you're going with it.
I was like, that class is going to be real popular.
Yeah.
Whatever class that is.
But well, yeah, just thinking out loud again, though, like the build, the very specifics of that type of build diversity that you could go, like what they did with the new arc class on Hunter, and then with Liar's Handshake now. Those two literally go with each other and were created for each other. Or the Warlock gloves, forgetting their name, but amplifies the Void Supernova.
Controverse Hold.
There we go. Controverse Holds. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I mean, it would give viability.
I hate handheld Supernova with a friggin' passion, by the way.
I bet you do.
It's just like, what is this bull? Just this BS that comes at me out of your hand. I'm like,
it's still there.
Exactly.
That one bugs the hell out of me. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, we'll get back to the other.
Something has to happen to make those bows. They're just not, like you said. I have an arsenic bite that is wicked, can be wicked for very specific instances, though. Like you said, they have to be big. I can't take out Shadow Thrall with that.
No.
So
they have to be pretty static enemies that have like. When I walk down the first part of the cathedral, after you go down the stairs on the descent, and it's the cathedral, and I'm clearing out everything on the side, it's just shink, shink. Yeah. And I literally will clear every sniper and everything from the doorway and then just walk down an open room, because I'll do it all with the bow. And I'm like, that works there, but I mean, that's like walking around Rambo, like sniping everything quietly, not like in the middle of a crazy fight, like shink, shink, shink. I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's going to work. So,
yeah.
It's gotta be something else. Like, especially being Gambit, there's just too many HVTs.
Exactly.
I think we're missing a patch note. I believe
this is sad that we like, yo, it gotta be
patch note, secret perk, something.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else to these, right? Yeah. So here's the other side of the argument. Do you guys feel they worry about Luna's that's getting its change? Do you feel they've made things that are too strong, and now they're just trying to make things that are different?
It's possible. It's possible with the mentality sometime of the meta, and obviously, the Luna, they got, people, they feel it, they're stat driven. They're very stat driven. They look at usage rates and stuff like that, and I think maybe they say, hey, we have to tone it back a little bit. Obviously, the last update, we got hit with a ton of, nerfs and stuff. So, I think they're just getting things in line. With Pinnacle weapons, I always struggle, though, because it's like, the investment required for these things, right? You should have a payoff. You should feel powerful. You should have some level, of engagement with this weapon that you've committed to. So to have these kind of perks and, expect people to grind, and these ain't knocking anybody's socks off just yet. But again, I'm going to reserve judgment in fairness until we have it in our, until, people put it through its paces. But right now, I would agree with you. I think they're leaning on the sign of caution with Pinnacle weapons right now and not going overboard just yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you look at the quests too, that the last season were not as difficult, run X amount, kill X and then just do X amount of. They were fairly easy to get.
Yeah, I mean, even like Recluse versus Mountaintop is not night and day. Like, get to 2100 or which Mountaintop I'm not even gonna. I've given up on trying this season. Like, I can get the kills. I can get like the. I think the first line of medals where it might be multi, where I'm just like maybe I'll get a colony. But man, and this is where I'm just probably gonna say I'm terrible. The 3 kills with grenades without dying. I'm still at 0, and I'm almost up to 100% on the top grenade kills, and I'm like, dude, like that one's just brutal. So yeah, that in comparison to just get enough wins to get your sniper rifle. I mean, I think as you said in the beginning of this, Nyrus, I was going to say it wrong about 4 times in my head. I think the rewards are now matching like what the investment, which is sad because Pinnacle weapons should be that. They should be something you have to earn and go after. And actually, I mean, there's got to be a level of like exotic, Pinnacle, legendary. Like some random legendary weapon should not be equal to my Pinnacle weapon. It should not match it. So,
yep. No, and it brings up a good point of, I think they need to, there's a line in here. I almost tweeted about it yesterday. Are we going into the full twab yet? Okay. I didn't want to point out the one line because it was just, oh man, did it not, I don't want to say bug me, but it just caught me so off guard.
Let's get to it.
And it was the line, and because we're right here with fusion rifles, with some exotic fusion rifles, they did minor adjustments due to inheriting from their legendary counterparts. Their minor increases under 5% each. This is the line that gets me. This change was done to move legendary fusion rifles a little closer to the exotics, as the gap between them was quite large, at least in PvE. What is the logic in that thinking? So back to what we're saying with Pinnacles being too powerful, there needs to be a clear vision and definition for them of what do these tiers look like? What is an exotic? What is a Pinnacle? And then what is every legend? Because like, no, that you shouldn't close the gap. Leave the gap.
No, agreed.
No, 100%. I mean, that goes back to when we started the podcast back in many moons ago. Feels like a year and a half now, which it's actually not far from. It was the issue of saying, well, like they want their line somewhere in one of their twabs saying we want exotics to be more exotics. I'm like, yeah, like that the name exotic should feel. I mean, you just look up the dictionary definition, and some of these don't even live up to it. And it's like they should be outstanding, like these crazy outliers of. I mean, they want them to have different purposes, but they should. I mean, we only get to wear one. It's not like I can have an inventory of exotics and be totally. We get one. It better be good. And that kind of goes in line with what everybody's been saying about Whisper being nerfed and things like that. It's like, fine, or you're going to take Skull and make it less good, but it's still better than 90% of the other exotics. So what's going to make me use the other exotics unless you have a 20-page patch notes of why every exotic is now getting buffed? Like, unless they're doing something like that, people are still going to use Skull because they get back, say they get back 2/3 of their super instead of a whole super and you're capped. I was like, well, I still got 2/3 of my super as opposed to what? Nothing else? So that's just a major issue that they've got to figure out for them. And what, as you said, those tiers, like some of that stuff is okay to be a little broken, and leaning a little more into things being outside of their comfort box needs to happen a bit more. So
right. Yeah, I don't want to debate what, like, oh, well, that one's, it's almost close to that exotic one. So, I'll run the exotic in the power slot instead of that. I'll just replace it with the legendary. Legendary's close enough anyways.
Yep.
I don't even want to have that thought. Like,
agreed.
Yeah, when's the last time anybody used Trinity Ghoul? When we're talking about bows, like, I mean, what is so special about, okay, so get a half a string pull and you get the little lightning on the ground for ads. I'm like, you're saying to use a bow against little ads. No. So just stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that need reworked. Final free summer event is Solstice of Heroes. So 3 pieces. Pursue the Solstice armor. We'll see if we get to keep it, see if it's useful. Embrace the light is kind of the fun one. Create elemental orbs, and I remember when we did this before, it was all the little colors on the ground. But it says if you collect 30 orbs, you gain the empowerment buff. I'm like, I wonder how long it lasts. Because 30 is not a small number to collect. And they said also I saw it said the elemental damage of the daily element. Do you think it's going to be like a global element across like the game? Like Solar Void or Arc, like changing daily for Solstice? That line right there had a lot more questions than I had answers.
That's a good question. What do you think? You think, Nice? I don't know.
I'm trying to understand. I mean, they intentionally sometimes write things I think that aren't very,
clear. Yeah, they're like this. This leaves them opportunity while they're still
right. Yeah, you can still adjust it. That would be interesting. I don't. We're so used to weekly singes, and and then even outside of that, you have you could be in something with a prism modifier. Let alone EP or not EP, the Whisper mission and Reckoning and 0 Hour now all run their own Singe as well. So you would be looking at a lot of Singe variety if we went on a daily rotation as well. It'd be interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect from that one, especially with that 30 orbs.
I mean, do you guys think? Do you think something like that would even work in? I mean, this is Solstice of Heroes. This is always like, hey, this is your last month of this year. Is this like a little bit of, hey, collect these orbs, and even like, hey, if you collect them in a raid, some of this stuff gets a little bit easier. How far reaching do you think these orbs will be?
I think they have a tendency to let you, with these events, kind of, at least a pattern, I think, they kind of let you kind of knock yourself off, have fun. We had snowballs at one point, what was it? The 101st stuff. And I think they're gonna let us get a little crazy, just a little bit. It's the Souls. It's a fun event, reflective event kind of deal. So that's my guy. I think it will be a little fun time.
Yeah, as I'm rereading these two, it just seems very, very in line with the other seasonal things. Especially with this Be Triumphant, I think we'll just get a slew of new triumphs to go after that are specific to this event. Go get your orbs, go do all this stuff, and then check off all the boxes.
Yep, I agree.
So that pretty much covers the basically Season of Opulence page that they put out there. At the bottom of that is the Lumina graphic, which is just gorgeous. Then we get to the TWAB. So we covered a bit of it on the Pinnacle, so we're going to skip around a little bit. But it covers the trailer of what's coming. We've got the calendar, and then it says choose wisely. So we're going to come back to the Menagerie and how this little Chalice of Opulence actually works. So I'm going to read some of this, and then we'll kind of deep dive into it, just so we can actually have their piece of context. Chalice lets you grow fat from strength. During Season of Opulence, you will be granting players the Chalice of Opulence, which serves as players' gateway to treasure. Players who emerge victorious in the Menagerie will use the Chalice to serve up an offering of runes in exchange for a weapon or gear they choose from a selection of items available. So I don't remember that line of selection of items available. Maybe it rotates. The treasure you find will be limited at first, but over time you'll be able to upgrade the Chalice to acquire more plentiful and powerful rewards. Each player will claim their Chalice at the start of the season through the introductory quest, which is what everybody has to do to even do the raid. So how's it work? Earn runes to slot on your Chalice through the following: complete weekly bounties, opening up weekly chests on the new Nessus barge, which I think is that gold ship that's floating out there in that image we were talking about, and using a consumable that will reward you with a rune after a strike, crucible, or gambit completion. The same consumable will also give other players in your fire team a chance to earn an additional rune. So that's actually cool. That actually works for everybody. Slot the runes in your Chalice before entering the Menagerie. Play the Menagerie to earn your rewards. Completing the Menagerie will award you gear you choose with your rune selections. Each rune affects what you receive and some of its properties depending on how you slot them. So, they also say it's upgradable. You'll have a host of new triumphs and bounties to complete that will reward new currency called Imperials. Using these Imperials, you can upgrade your Chalice to acquire a variety of perks, with a wide range of effects, and from giving you more powerful reward perks per week, to allowing you to choose the specific gun and masterwork stat that you get from the Menagerie. You can earn Imperials in several ways, completing weekly bounties, certain triumphs, using special consumables, Chalice upgrades. You choose which upgrades you unlock first. Unlock additional rune slots to allow more control and item specialization. Unlock it so you earn more runes and rune variety. Upgrade it for additional power. So, all that being said, their example is as follows, which, sorry, long-winded, but wanted to say it all. So, for example, if you wanted to earn a random roll of a beloved sniper, which I guess they're talking about the LDR that's sitting below, with handling as the masterwork trait, you would use a rune of jubilation, any red and any purple rune. This rune configuration is your freebie, the only one they're going to tell us. We're excited for the community to come together and uncover the combinations of each Menagerie reward, and I'm sure some crazy spreadsheet will get existed. So, now that all that's out there, Nairis, now that you've kind of gotten into this detail, this speaks. You're going to have the best infographic in the world for this. So follow this man on Twitter if you haven't done it yet. MR_NIRIS. He is eventually going to have the graphic of all graphics for how you do this. What are your thoughts, man?
This is gonna be fun. I thought when I saw this, the screen for the first time, I lost my shit kind of. And then after reading it even more, it was, if it does what it's supposed to do and what it's talking about, like it's a dream in a way. I think how all of these things operate in tandem, and then equally figuring out what those combinations are going to be to get those roles. I mean, we're talking hundreds of, if not more, of combinations to get very specific roles. You will probably see more than one infographic on this thing.
You're like, here's how you roll the sniper. Here's how you roll your chest piece.
Pretty much.
It's gonna have to be.
It's gonna be wild. But equally, like, I'm super, super stoked to see them embracing this level of what's the word? I want to say, but also crafting, like,
it's basically what it is.
With challenge involved as well. It's not just a handout. It's not just go get X amount of things and make sure you got them and then push the button and voila.
Oh, you mean custom side? Is that what you're implying, sir? Is that what you're no prophecies for you?
Right. I'm just stoked. I'm super excited. I'm very curious to see what these things on the bottom are going to offer, certain compatibility things, bonus things. But is that what gets us our traits in a weapon line, or certain things on armor? Man, this is big. This is what I was talking about. When you take the oven and you mix it with the synthesizer,
shake it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Get your easy baking synthesizer.
There you go. Yep. Pretty much. And this, we're looking at the masterworked version of it too. So it ain't gonna be I doubt that's going to get handed out.
No, that's going to be heroic for sure, and probably a quest and multiple completions, each boss. I don't know, something like that. So
and equally, is that all the things that are opening up on the bottom as it goes along? What are we limited to? Given that we see everything here on the masterwork version, what does it look like when it's rare?
Bender's over here. Now you're baking with power.
He's out of control. I was dying right now.
Oh, that is great.
That is hilarious.
But honestly, for me, like, you say the word crafting, and I'm just like, yes. Like, crafting is a huge step in an awesome direction for this game, because it's something we've never had a specific choice to go after. I want to craft this, that, put these gems in, like, almost like reminds me of Diablo and socketing gems and figuring out those types of things. It leads me down that path. And like almost the Herodic cube of like, combine these 3 or 4 things and bam, you get this thing. But it's like, combine these 3 or 4 things, now go do this activity. Okay, now you can get this, like, but like when they say you can pick the handling masterwork, like you can go that specific, that is bananas. Like, okay, so hand cannons, I'm going range masterwork the whole time. As soon as you figure that out, somebody's going to want to know. Like, you want auto rifles. Like, if these are all in here as an option, man, that's gonna be, you are gonna have some work, sir.
Well, it's good. They have to have some risk reward to it, you know. Like if you are going to define, and this is speculation, if you are going to define a very specific role that you want in that instance, is it then required that you do the heroic version of the Menagerie? And are you then saving that thing? Like, hey, I have everything here for my perfect role of this. I'm not setting foot in there until I know I got 5 competent guardians with like, hey guys, I got, you know, and you go hit your homies like, I'm ready to do this one. Like, I've been saving this. This is my role. Let's go. Like, we cannot lose. Because that will, holy, can you imagine? Like, that would bring together.
Yeah, you won't wait in the activity, like, because right now in Reckoning, you keep getting your little runes back. And honestly, you're just like, oh, we didn't make it. Well, let me just leave and go find another group because we suck.
You're right. You're right.
So, I mean, in the normal matchmaking, I'm sure it's going to be like, okay, these are lower tier things. We're not going to use all your gems, whatever. Now, once you get up into the runes and you're like, as you said, you find that 6-person match made, curated. Okay, you guys got your act together. Nobody's got to leave. We're doing this. Like, if there's actually weight to it actually losing, that'll put even more to it. So, some people may not like it, but that actually gives the activity weight, which means that actually matters. So.
Absolutely.
All right. You could probably get your random rolls still, but I'm thinking in that one instance where it's, you know, what's coming out of that thing when you put those gems together, and people are going to be hurt if y'all don't pull it off. Like, might lose some friendships.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be tight. You be like, yo, I'm using these. I have to win this right now.
Yeah, Vagabondo's down this saying crafting Destiny, I think, is a stretch, and it's like, and it may be, it's like, I know we're hoping it's something like this. But I mean, if they say you can literally pick a specific sniper rifle, and they said one line is like, from what's available. So maybe there's certain weeks you've got options of what's available for boss encounters or the direction you go.
I'm thinking it's boss related, like likeness of Oryx, the same way that inventory shuffles for likeness of Oryx and the swords.
Yeah, so it just creates that engagement. I'm sorry, Gabe.
No, I was just going to say, so yeah, depending on what week we're on, what burn is in there, whatever's going on, like all that stuff is going to factor into what you can get. So maybe we'll see. So, but that actually, I mean, that's probably one of the most excited things I think all of us are over this entire season is that piece right there, what you can do with that actual chalice versus Pinnacle weapons.
All of Destiny 2 even. That just gets me so excited.
Yeah, same here, man. This was probably the best news, and unsurprised. It was very surprised because I'm like, this is something the community's been wanting for a long time, and to have that customization, to have that configuration, and when I read like, hey, if you want, because that's the other thing, when they introduced the Masterwork system, to me that was the only flawed part, which was when you got the random roll, there was no way to control that perk that you're masterworking. You know what I'm saying? It's just RNG all the way. So to have a system like that to figure out a combination, to figure out what that masterwork is going to be, like you said, you know you're going on range if you can find what that is on hand cannons. You know what I'm saying?
That's
there's certain ones that are just going to be like money. So to find that is just real cool, and just like grinding this random roll grinding, like this adds a whole different layer, you know. And that's, I think Black Armory attempted it on a small level with just trying to grind for, you know, different guns and stuff like that. And I actually did like the gameplay loop of it, but this is even further. And this is kind of what, you know, Destiny fans have been clamoring for since like D1, and wasted a whole bunch of materials to just re-roll stuff and back in them days, you know what I'm saying? So it's exciting. It's exciting. I can see hours upon hours diving. If it's as we think it is and it's done right, yeah, this like Nara said, I'm super excited. This is probably one of the low-key the best parts of the info dump that we've seen from Etoile, in my opinion.
I think you guys pretty much said it all. I don't have much to add on top of that because I just, I kind of want to get in there, and it's just going to be at first, everybody's going to be like, all right, we'll slot these in. Okay, what'd you get? All right, well, you slot these in. Is it the same thing? Okay, like what makes it different? So much trial and error. Like the raid secrets, Reddit thread is going to be bananas because people are going to post up like crazy spreadsheets. Probably look to your Chevys or your Sweatsicles or Glads for the crazy spreadsheets. But if you want it looking pretty, not in a smashed up spreadsheet, go look to our man right here.
That's the man right there.
He's going to make it look good, easy to read, and be like, all right, I want this with this. Cool, right here. Done. Awesome. He's going to have you hooked up. So follow him if you haven't. He will, You're gonna have some work though, sir. That's
I know.
that's a
I'm
lot
thinking
to
about it.
do,
I'm
by
like,
the way.
already last night I was trying to think. I'm like, how do I want to do it? You know, how do I want to set it up?
You have an infographic that is as long as this twab that I just scroll through.
Or rune, yeah, like weapon. Do I start with weapons? Do I start with runes? Do I start with, you know, like?
It's gonna look good. I just wait to see. So
I know
I may steal it and put it in a video, but that's fine.
You do that, man. That's why they're out there.
I'll shout them out. For
Nobody might see me for all of July while I'm just working on this thing.
You'll be in a dungeon somewhere in the basement crafting.
Like, why is he not at Guardian? He is working. He's working right now. He's in overtime mode. Okay, he's in the zone. So yeah, honestly, it's pretty exciting. We'll see how specific we can get, but I'm very, very curious, just like you guys are for sure, because you guys said basically everything I was thinking is the crafting, the specifics. Like, can I go after this? What is it going to take? Like, are you going to risk losing things? Like, so many questions we have. And I think that's been kind of the nice piece about what they've given us. They've given us a pretty good amount of info, but we still have questions about just about everything, which is how it should be. It's like a movie trailer done right. Like, hey, this is going to be Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Okay, what the hell's the movie about? I don't have a damn clue until we see it. Cool, that's how it should be done. Like, same thing here. So I don't know quite what's happening, but we will see. So now we get down into a couple buffs for weapons. Fusion rifles. Outside of your line that kind of ticked some of us off about exotics. Gamer Noob Greg with the Twitch Prime sub. Had to shout you out real quick. Thank you very much, just because that one popped up. Fusion rifles, non-exotic fusion rifles. Damage increased against PvE combatants for fusion rifles. That alone is good. Because I fired at one the other day. I was like, oh, come on. High impacts increased by 30%. Precision by 44%, adaptive by 44%, and rapid fire by 47%. That's a lot, actually. We're almost talking 50% damage bonus there. While some of the exotic fusion rifles, Telesto, Jotun, Merciless, did receive minor adjustments due to inheriting their legendary counterparts, they're minor, under 5% each. But yeah, I mean, fusion rifles getting a buff. You guys like going to be pulling anything specific out? Like, is your main ingredient going to be like checking out, getting a good view, or are you guys still just chilling?
I'm not. This is me right here, because I'm Mr. Loaded Question. So this is when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is a loaded question, man. It's really, Warlock main. I throw on my Luna faction. You can get busy with it. You know what I'm saying? If you time it right and use the auto loading holster and stuff just to keep guaranteeing that blast. So yeah, man, I'm excited about this. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to see. They say at exotic fusion rifles only 5% increase on those. I guess the question I got though, I always get confused because I always feel like fusion and linear fusions in this weird. Does this apply to my infamous, my baby? Does it, or is my baby sleeper not part of this love?
Sleeper's not in there. Linear.
Yeah, because no, I had a feeling. I was like, this probably ain't gonna be sleeper, but yeah. I mean, listen. Overall, this is good. Because fusions, I don't really think are being used in PvE that often. That's just, I don't know what usage rate is, but I don't really see them a lot. So yeah, this would be cool. They needed some love. What do you think, Naris?
I'm just I don't use one really that often. Loaded Question is great. I need it with something as powerful in the kinetic slot to use that auto loading. Like all I do is pull it out for that one shot, hit the add mob with it, and then back to whatever. However, I would like to bring back out main ingredient. I would also like to begin to use, Prometheus and Cold Heart again. Like I have all of these things masterworked and no reason to use them.
But those are ain't those
are trace rifles?
But don't they? Like when's the last time they got?
Prometheus is kind of nasty though. I've been messing. Yeah, bro, you got to dust it off.
Maybe I do.
Yeah, dust it off, John. Prometheus since the last couple of updates, it's very strong. I was very impressed with it.
Amplifies damage the longer.
Yeah, that's the one that turned. The big solar ball. It's bigger. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, like I think it would give me a reason to use my air side of PvP. Maybe not, because that one's a little specific of a role, but I don't know. I can't. It would give me any buff always gives me a good reason to dive back into the vault and see what roles I hung on to for whatever reason, and reevaluate. Basically, I think that's always fun with any sandbox change.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully these buffs, give me a reason to grab one and bring it back out.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, no doubt.
So next we've got Sturm and Drang. Haven't heard about those in
these-
ages.
These poor bastards.
Seriously, yeah. Storm and Stress max overcharge rounds increased to 99. So apparently you just like stack it till you're blue in the face. Sturm overcharge buff text now displays the number of overcharge rounds. Overcharge damage increased by 100% in PvE.
Wow.
So the reasoning for this was Sturm and Drang were weapons that lost a bit of their place in PvE once Forsaken hit. I mean, yeah, because they said not being able to carry around a special weapon hurts your output, so Sturm fell to the wayside. With these changes, along with a new version of Drang coming out in Season of Opulence, so I guess something with either random rolls or better perks, we hope that it has some time to shine again. I feel like, I just want to say, like, this is one of those points where Bungie's like, hey, somebody had a really cool idea of weapons to work together. Let it die.
They try to bring it back. You don't like that they keep getting it back? It's too funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, for me, it's one of those. I'm like, how can it's not gonna it's not gonna compare to a shotgun or a fusion rifle or a sniper rifle in that slot. So
Hating.
That's my opinion. I've never used those guns, like hardly ever. I mean, I know people had some montage moments of like stacking them, and you could probably sit in an empowering rift and get the single shot, but like that's literally like, can you craft the perfect scenario to use this once? That's my opinion. So it's like, this is always just like, okay, yeah, we get a new Drang, sure, might be a cool sidearm, but is it really, really worth it?
But how are sidearms doing?
Yeah. Where's that patch note buff? Come on. Sidearms.
It could be coming. It could be coming. You never know.
I hope so.
On launch. Hope so.
They're
in a bad place.
Like, it's not like their traits aren't viable, I've still got some sick rolls just waiting.
Yeah, I've got quite a few that I haven't broken down because I'm a hoarder to the worst.
Yeah.
My vault is always full, and I'm just like, maybe. And somebody's like, I was like, well, what about these? I've got some okay rolls here, and they're like, I just break down every one of those I see. I'm like, but maybe.
Someday.
Maybe.
Someday.
Now, swords. Now, this is probably one I kind of expected because we had 2 swords in that graphic of all the weapons and stuff that we were getting. So, yeah, the fact that we're actually getting a pretty decent talk about swords is good. So, anybody want to read this one since I've been saying all of this stuff?
I'll go for it. Yeah, ammo capacity increased to a max of 70. Starting ammo increased by 10. Black Talon is going to get ground and aerial projectile ammo cost increased from 3 to 4. Adaptive frame swords, ground uppercut ammo cost increased from 3 to 4. Aggressive frame, now lunge at target with an aerial light attack considered into a single damage event. Slam attack consolidated, into a single damage event. Slam attack ammo cost increased from 3 to 4. Then we got the lightweight frame damage tuning. So ground light attack increased by 17%. Aerial light attack decreased by 21%. Ground dash attack increased by 87%. Interesting. Aerial dash attack increased by 78%. No ammo aerial light attack decreased by 49%. Okay. And all other no ammo attacks, they go, if you stop cheesing, decreased by 15%. Ground dash attack ammo cost increased from 2 to 3. Swords are getting some adjustments. We increased ammo capacity, but also increased the cost of heavy attacks proportionally to encourage mixing in light attacks to get the most out of them instead of just repeatedly using heavy attacks. Also, much like how Drang will show up in the new form for the Season of Opulence, the lightweight and aggressive swords are getting the same treatment. So what y'all think, man? With swords, how y'all feeling about these changes?
I don't use one. Never have.
I know.
There's like a bounty where I have to use a sword and let me pull it out, and all I do is probably heavyweight uppercut. But I was like, in the moment on like a guy, it's like, okay, sure, it hits pretty hard. If there's like a solar shield and I've got a solar sword, probably going to do some damage to him, but it is always the risk, and it's an issue why.
It's a massive risk.
Yeah.
Well, it's like because your proximity to any enemy is always a risk, much less anything powerful, because they always freaking stomp you. And that's a major issue I've heard, people like Destin talk about, just go absolutely off on like, why does every damn boss have the slam mechanic? Everything. And then when you're on the bridge, the same thing. Oh, let me be on this confined space in the middle of chaos, of which you're going to nerf our supers, and now you're going to have a slam mechanic or a boot mechanic. Like, are there not other ways to manage us?
Yeah.
There's fire.
There's fire. Yeah, set you on fire. That's the other one from the Knights. So if they don't boop you, you are sitting in an inferno. So
You're roasting.
yeah, you're roasting. You're crispy or regular and extra crispy, I guess. But yeah, it's like, I mean, swords having the max ammo up to 70, but then they increase the, cost of the heavy attack, and you're like, it's kind of a hey, like a little bit of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I guess they want you to use light attacks a little more.
Yep.
I mean, and the damage sounds good for the lightweight frame. I mean, the other ones seem like it's mostly just kind of slightly changing some stuff up. Some of the, the lunge attack, if you actually lunge to the target in the air, that's a good thing, as opposed to, here's a guy standing here, I jump up in there and I swing at nothing, as opposed to actually getting to him. So little tweaks are good, but I still don't know if if we still have minotaurs and ogres and everything that slam, I don't know where I'm going to really bring this thing out and be like, hey, I'm going to go smack the boss. Like, you're going to die, dude. Don't do it.
Yep. Facts. Just like we talked about it before, just the way mechanics are structured. I mean, it almost forces you to fight at distance so that you can avoid those type of mechanics. You know what I'm saying? That's why those long range weapons tend to dominate in those heavy slots and stuff. So swords are just still going to struggle. You know what I'm saying? Until they find, better mechanics with bosses, like you said, until you have more situations like fighting Callie, you can actually run up and stuff. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Other than that, like you said, that big old stomp comes down, you get sent down the block, and there's your sword action. So it's a waste of slot, so it is what it is. Mm-hmm.
Or if they could just find better ways to maybe incorporate them with different things on the skill tree. I don't know, something. Give me you know what I mean? I would gladly take my warlock sword there that is specific, and if it could give me 5 to 10% health increase when I use Phoenix Dive, I would bring that into PvP.
Oh, there we go.
Because that got nerfed to high hell.
Yes, big time.
You know what I mean? Though something that is it's a use case, but makes me think about using a sword. I don't even think about swords right now. That might be me and just how I play, but they something else needs to happen, because it's like you said, it's purely the that situation. They're too damn close, too many stomps. You can't. It just doesn't make sense at all.
At all. I know. Right, man. Right. What about you, E? You muted. You still muted. I don't hear anything.
Nor do I.
Okay,
I was muted. Sorry.
There he goes.
Sorry, I was typing a little bit, so no. No, I mean, same thing you guys were saying. I mean, I know what they're trying to go for, giving you a capacity, making sure you don't use heavy all the time, but it's the mechanics of the encounters that really take away, unless, I can't go touch bosses. I'm going to be the guy who just goes and smacks around enemies with a sword. You would have to have a specific role, but generally it doesn't benefit you to have that role versus just being more of a well-rounded player. So there's no point where it's specific to be like, hey, I got to take a sword and go slash this guy. Yeah. Nah, probably not.
But akin to Wendigo, maybe we hopefully could be seeing some more mechanics and instances that allow for those very specific uses.
Yeah, cross fingers, toes, hands, arms, everything from cross. So
honestly, because I would love nothing more than to do that than our proverbial, who's got Whisper, who's got who's running Praxic, who's running, I would like to very much,
diversify those builds.
Yeah, get a little bit more variety in there.
Absolutely.
So that's all we have for patch notes, at least at this point. As to whatever else is going to come next week, wait for Tuesday while you're downloading, because that's when we'll know. But yeah, we've got Raiders of the Lost Vault. So they've got the raid belt graphic. Definitely gold and purple is just all over this thing. From the graphic man, what do you think? How'd they do?
Any belt they do is going to be great. Sorry to mess up.
That's that Minnesota talk.
I think that anything that gaudy has to be
Yes.
Just
you need it. You need
over
it
the
to be
top.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that's going to be the world's first race is for the belt. It's the first team of 6. They actually have official world's first rules as well. Main pieces. It's just the final 6 members are who will be the final 6. It's not anybody involved. It's not if you switch them out. So apparently they're saying they're okay with you switching them, but the final 6 are the ones who actually will be crowned, per se, the world's first. So if you help on the first encounter and you're like, all right, this other guy's going to go level, and you're like, you're pinch hitting for a little while and you get benched, you're not going to be getting a belt. So just remember what part you're in. Just know that.
They will now be in history. They'll now be remembered.
But this is the thing that seems to spark everybody's question. Are you an avid raider and you don't think you can finish first? Well, there are still some other enticing rewards available for those brave enough to tackle the raid encounter soon after launch. If you are able to defeat the final encounter in the first 24 hours, you will receive the Heavy is the Crown emblem. Now, this emblem is sparking a lot of questions as to what we're going to fight. I don't know if you guys have seen that emblem, the very specific little kind of green
I woke up to
dash
like
symbol.
18 mentions from
Really?
I don't know, like just because I retweeted something from somebody. I don't want to trying to debate.
But the question is, everybody thinks that is actually going to be related to the hive. Because that symbol is very, very similar to something related to Crota that I saw. Somebody put a picture up, and it looks, that graphic looks not quite, but damn near identical to Crota's like kind of symbol situation. And it's, I mean, it's black and green. It's the hive.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
very hive graphic-y.
So what does that make you think about the raid? As we think Crown of Sorrow, and then Heavy is the Crown emblem. What the hell crown do you guys think they're talking about?
I think a lot of people are missing the other design aspects of this with the radials on it as well. There, like that's not hive at all. That's very callous oriented. Those or Leviathan or Cabal, whatever those triangles and you know what I mean, like that pattern. That's very very very.
So do you think it's like hive on the Leviathan? Do you think there are like some or do you even think hive is involved? Do you think it's just like, as you said, like a mystery or like a switch, like they're trying to trick us?
I think that the press kit had that one shot of the Minotaur that was looking kind of rusty and it's nothing we've seen, very much like when we went to Mars and we saw the hive, Splody hive, or not, frozen
frosty hive.
There we go. I don't know, it'll be interesting. I think a lot of if there's one theme here is we're not being told everything. So again, I think we could be intentionally being misled. It could be those colors to make us think that, but look a little deeper into it and it might be something else. I'm not enough of a lore guy to I know a lot of it, but nothing to speculate with confidence of what this could be. I just know I gotta have it because it's beautiful.
It looks so good.
Nice.
A little just like tentacle greenish. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I want. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or I'm just going to die of lack of sleep, but I do want to give that thing a try. So
you guys are thinking hive?
I'm thinking maybe there's a hive boss, or maybe it's a final encounter and she's doing I don't know, but people have wondering, they keep saying like Zeev, some weird name that I forget what it is. They keep saying
Zeev Arath.
Yeah, is that one of the sisters of Oryx?
Yeah, that's Oryx. That's the third sibling.
Okay, yeah. So they're wondering if that's involved, and I'm like, so everybody's saying
it's her and Sav that are left after we took out.
So maybe it's her as a tease, and then Sav's like, all right, you killed both of them. I'm bringing the triangle ships, and here we go. But then the triangle ships people think are the Veil. Like, is she like so? No idea honestly, but it spoke hive when I first saw it. I'm like, this doesn't look like the ornate. Doesn't look like that at all. So there's something different going on in there. Is something's going to happen. And then if you can't do it in the first 24 hours, which I still want to try, if you do it in the first week, you can get that raid jacket. Now they did change up the actual look. It's not quite the big puffy bomber jacket. It looks more like just a legit jacket. The inside on the back, though, oh man,
Mean. That's mean.
that looks
That's
so
mean.
good.
That is mean.
I am not a clothes person at all. I could care less. I hate
I
going
will
clothes
rock
shopping.
that. Like, yeah,
I was
that's
like,
something.
but the inside of that jacket's just cool because I know I'd be wearing it. But it just
Yeah.
actually looks like a pretty good jacket too. It's like, I don't know.
fire.
This is actually one that I may actually try and go for.
Bro, I'm with you, man. I mean, I gotta give it up. Like, even the bomber jackets before. I mean, this one is definitely. I gotta give it up on the attire, man. Whoever's in the fashion team, they've been doing their thing, man. They out here. They out here. That is nice. That is nice. I like that a lot. So yeah, I might join you, E. I might have to get see if I can get down with these threads, man. It's nice.
Yeah, I need that one.
Yeah. That one, I don't know. Something about it has a different feel of like a jacket. I live in Texas. It's not as cold down here, especially not Minnesota. But that's one, like, for me, if I actually do want, like, I don't have a great jacket, I'm like, I could use that.
I could use
good,
that.
good lightweight. The color's all different, so it's not a bomber. I thought I had to poke a little fun at that, given the seasons of which these are coming out in. So this one, people will literally get in winter. So I'm like, could have flipped those, but
That's too funny.
because like I'll get my Scourge one when it's hot as shit out here.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know it's funny.
But no, I'm on board. Like, yeah, and I share the same sentiment. Like, whoever is in the working the fashion on this is, I don't know if Zoe did these or who, but wow.
Yeah,
That is a spicy jacket.
yes, sir.
Then, of course, there will be more stuff at the store starting on June 4th, so stay tuned for the Chalice shirt and the
I gotta get
ladies
that
tank.
Chalice shirt, bro. I'm gonna have to get that Chalice shirt. I'm gonna have to get down with that, man. I like that too.
So, coming next week for Season of Opulence, we will see update 2.5.0. Issues they are getting fixed are quick, brief ones. They've got fixed an issue where heroic, a version of 0 Hour, would only be available as first character. The luxurious toast emote now allow players to sit for as long as they desire. This thing was out on Twitter. There was a thread.
This was his note right here.
I just want to sit and just keep sitting.
That glass of chill.
Players can no longer win Crucible matches by getting kills after the timer has expired, which is I don't even know if I've ever come across that specifically. This one for me is probably one of my.
You've never
points.
snuck in one more? Come on.
No, I've gotten the kill afterwards. I don't think it's ever actually gotten a victory. I don't think it ever counts. So
Oh God, those I've had a few of those.
Oh really? No.
Oh, it is bizarre because it'll say you lose, or Shaq says you lose, but then the screen says you won, and you're just kind of a little conflicted at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a weird thing where the timer's in. Same thing when you're running like a Nightfall Strike. Like, as soon as I kill the boss, that timer ought to freaking end. Like, there's times when I've been, like, close to a point threshold, and then it starts ticking down.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, so, like, some of those take longer. But this one fixed an issue where the action for applying shaders, ornaments, holograms, or using consumables was getting canceled and not applying on the first attempt. Like, I don't know how many times on PC I'm like, hold the button, doesn't work. Hold it, doesn't work.
Gamers rejoice.
That's just a quality of life one that's huge for me.
Yep.
There are still actions that will cancel the apply function, but the fact that it hopefully works correctly, thank God. Players with multiple radiant matrix materials in their inventory, whatever. But then we come down to the pursuits. They're actually mixing up your pursuits into full bounties with descriptions and everything on your director now. So,
Very good change.
Very good quality change.
So the pursuits menu will be moved from your inventory to director. With this update, you'll be able to switch between pursuits and director overview in one move. With the objectives displayed in the new tab, it should be easier than ever to get your plan for a gameplay section, knock out some bounties. They also increase the size from 50 to 63 as well. So you've got multiple pages, more space. Yeah, honestly, I always have too many damn bounties anyway. So we've added some filters so you can do quest only or bounties only. So, I mean, a little bit of quality of life here, but honestly, that's another one I'm looking forward to. It's just going to be a nice aesthetic to it all.
They just better not come gunning for my weekly reset graphic. Like, I need something to do every week, Bungie. Don't
I hear you.
Don't take it away. I have a whole video over that one, so yeah, you're good. But yeah, timing for Tuesday. So 7 a.m. Destiny maintenance will begin. 8 a.m. This is all Pacific time, by the way. Destiny 2 and companion features will be taken offline. Patch 2.5.0 will be rolling out across all platforms. And then at noon, normal reset is when everything is supposed to come back on. So, got a couple hours to download it. They talk about players on console, if you need to power cycle their console, whatever it is, work on getting that thing to start downloading. Takes a little while, but you've got 2 hours. So if you're going for that race, man, as soon as that thing takes off, start cycling, do what you can to do to get that thing to download. So they're trying to give you as much time as possible, and they will be calling the world's first via Twitter. Every player will have to do the Imperial summons to be able to even try it. And then from there, you'll see. But yeah, 700 and 720 will be your max. And then they have an amazing wallpaper, by the way. It's what's sitting behind us, actually, as we record this thing, is your Chalice. And there's a 4K version of the wallpaper out there that is, honestly, it looks really, really cool. With basically like the IS Luna. And then just in case you guys were wondering, be like, hey, Bungie, you've thrown all the Season of Opulence stuff at us. We've had so much to look at. We're trying to dive into these pinnacles and what's ever going to go on, all these mysteries. Oh, by the way, they tweeted something out saying, tune in for the reveal of the next chapter of Destiny 2, Thursday, June 6th. 2 days later, after that season goes live. They are not joking around. They're saying raid jackets awarded. Like, whoever gets it, now we're going. Like, okay, so this is the big question. That was a nice little spicy finish here. Thoughts?
Do you want me to start?
Whoever wants to. That's all I can say. This is
because obviously you know I have a lot to say.
Yeah, I have not a whole. I just have imagination. Wild. Overreading it probably.
Yeah.
And is the background of the image of any significance? I don't know. That became a thing that we were kind of tossing around, and I haven't seen anybody bring this up, and I had to reply to Hot Gun yesterday because she was kind of initiated this whole search of what this background image is. Trying to figure out if it's a location, anything really. And ultimately a lot of heads just kind of decided it's just very reminiscent of D1 director. And then I think they actually did find the location. And it had to relate to D1 again, though, somehow. I think. Don't quote me on that. However, what a lot of people aren't bringing up, and this really, I'm glad I get to mention it again. Did we all forget about Luke Smith's letter in one of the twabs like months ago? With a very, 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 very specific set of words at the end of it.
Go ahead and tell us. Repeat them.
Can you repeat those, sir?
Yeah. Twitter and he. So all of this draws back to the fact that I think, well, not that I think, but the possibilities are there. When I look ahead and think about Destiny and where it could go, I see a bright future with roots in a memorable past. Not everything has been lost in the dark corners of time. See you soon.
So
I was like, keep going. You can't.
That was a very, that's not how you sign off a damn letter. So,
unless you just want to break somebody with OCD.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I don't want to get too insanely speculative because Lord knows
That's
how.
literally why we're sitting here. That's
I know, but
by the time this podcast comes out next week, we're gonna know something.
You're
so,
not wrong. But this D1 port thing.
I see where you're going. Okay.
I don't. I wish. I hope that would be so rad. I don't think it's gonna happen. So that being said, I don't know what it means. Honestly, I have no idea. I think the mystery it gets me more excited than anything. Just knowing that it's there, knowing that he had said those things, and then just the community having fun, trying to figure out, and like I said, probably over reading it, over analyzing. But in the event, like that's some hella cryptic messaging. If it ends up being something like that, it wouldn't be the first time that a background image is of significance in something else.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Nah, just just sitting here smiling, So I remember the conversation we had last week,
Yeah,
and
we were both
yeah.
wrong, and I was like, yeah. So it was
Well,
like, is it going to
I
be?
got saved by the bell, though. I
You
got
got
saved by
saved
the
by the
bell.
Jeff Keighley talk, yeah. So
I
Jeff
got
Keighley's
saved
also
by
going to
the
have a
Jeff
talk.
Keighley. So to give Nairis context
Yeah.
on what he missed was, we were talking about basically the future of Destiny post Activision deal.
Okay.
And I've got some good friends who are, corporate lawyers, and has a brother that works at Bungie. To help with Bungie certain things. But the speculation is that once Season of Opulence ends, they are free from the contractual obligation to Activision, and thus they are essentially on their own, right? Which leads us to believe, okay, so then what happens? We do know with the PC port, I believe was it Vicarious,
Yeah.
Visions and those guys, and the BattleNet, that in theory kind of ends, right? So the question becomes, one, the format of how Destiny is structured. Do they retain the annual pass structure again? Which is one rumor that we've heard. Do they go back to the Comet style, thing? And the other part of it is in that whole contractual agreement, PlayStation had exclusivity, right? That was part of the deal. They had those exotics, they had those stuff. That, to my knowledge, through corporate lawyers, is ending, right? So
with the 1 year mark, yeah.
Right. So what happens now? What does Bungie do? So I had some theories. I was throwing them out, against the wall. And, one thing is E3 is the biggest showcase event. That's the big, as a developer, as a publisher, you want to showcase. If you want to make an announcement, you make an announcement there. Now, I had a theory in conjunction with Microsoft, not saying they would go exclusive, but maybe some sort of marketing rights on the console side. Who knows where they'll go on the PC side? You have Epic Store buying a lot of stuff out here, and then you have Steam, still huge base and a lot of people beloved. The thing that it struck me, because again, I had made my prediction before, and then, we heard the news saying, they were going to do a reveal on their own June 5th or 6th. So I'm like, oh, okay, they control the narrative. It might not be that big announcement, right? But then when I seen Jeff Keighley's tweet, and he's like, hey, I'm going to sit down with the team at Bungie during E3 Coliseum for a panel titled The Future of Bungie and Destiny 2 on Tuesday, June 11th at noon. Excited for what they have to reveal next week. So I'm like, why is Jeff Keighley involved, and why is Bungie at E3? You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, that signifies big announcement. Like you have something you really want to showcase. So again, I'm gonna hold on to my theory, which is maybe Microsoft swoops in with some just a marketing deal, not exclusive, and because we know for a fact they're going to be present at E3. Sony is not present at E3. We'll see. We'll see if my theory comes true. Again, it's long shot. It's connecting dots. I'm not guaranteeing anything.
Sure.
I'm just speculating based on Bungie's situation as a free agent. They may be wanting to expand in that role. And then we do know, the last part of my little thing is that, we do know when the reports came out that Bungie was the one that really wanted to push cross-play, cross-progression. All those kind of things, and being free of that Activision/Sony deal, maybe we get back into that utopian thing where, could you imagine, as PC gamers being to jump into that pool, and then more speculative stuff. Now I'm really got my tinfoil hat on now. We have the whole, Microsoft and Sony cloud partnership deal that just recently happened. So eventually, maybe not right now, maybe D3, right? We get to that point of true cross-play, true cross-progression, because we do know that's something Bungie wants. So I'm excited. I just want to see
Oh, yeah. The whole industry's going that way. Sony's the only ones not getting on board yet.
Did anybody see the stuff about Call of Duty yesterday?
Yeah. That blew my mind. I'm sitting there like, Call of Duty's doing it now?
Call of Duty
it's going to happen.
Full cross-play. And I was like, that is... I think it was Paul Tassi. He said, like, the dam has broken. Like, that's the start of it.
Bro, I think we're here. And again, there's no excuse on the Sony side, because if they're going to be using the Azure structure background in the future, right? Why not open the gates? This is something that everybody wants. Fortnite was one of the pioneers. You have games like Dauntless now doing it. Gamers want that. Online communities thrives. Firsthand playing comp, how long that wait sometimes going for competitive.
I hear Legend on comp is like 30 minutes a match or something. I hear Legend on Comp is ridiculous.
Yeah. Shout out to Hybrid. He says all I really want is cross save. Preach, brother.
That's
Preach.
what I would take cross save for now.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know how much they're storing on their backends, but the majority of it's already there, especially with game history and stuff like that. That's why you have a Bungie account, and you had one, I think, starting at D2. Are you required to have one with D2? I can't remember. I don't think you're required, but yeah, either way, I mean, like all that player information is there.
Yeah.
It lives in APIs, so it's
it's there.
I don't know what that takes, but
yeah. Well, let's see. I'm very excited just to see.
It's like I could play with my nephew. Like,
could you?
I can play. Yeah, mine too. My nephew's playing on PlayStation. I could be like, hey, you guys want Whisper? All right, come on, jump in my
entire Xbox clan. They're so mad when Ebontis got me over here on PC.
Yeah, but you can't go back. You can't go back.
No, but at least I can play with them. You know what I'm saying? Like if
I know. Yeah. No,
you know
what
I'm saying? But I'm staying here with the 60 frames.
Yeah. The play
max out on PC and then just go.
Yeah.
Help.
Exactly. We'll see, man. This is exciting stuff. I'm dying to know what the hell what's the future? What are they thinking about? So we'll see.
Less than a week now. I mean, literally like Thursday next. And I was like, and you go to E3.
I'm gonna be right there.
You're gonna find that one somewhere. Yeah.
Yep.
Go hold that boom mic out there and be like, can I get a comment? Can I get that comment?
Exactly.
But yeah, so for one podcast, we will see, barring your schedule, if we can squeeze in at least something about what drops. And honestly, like we'll have the raid, and then 2 days later we're gonna have this. So sometime maybe Thursday afternoon, if you've got time, we are gonna try and squeeze a podcast in.
We're gonna get something in.
Because we got to talk about it. Because if they drop now, the question is, do you guys think it will be like they'll drop a Vidoc on Thursday and then they talk more, or do you think it's like, how do you guys think they're going to space these two? Because it's two within 5 days of each other.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What do you think, Larry? I'm curious.
What the Keeley and the
Keeley and the
it's
Thursday.
a week apart.
Yeah.
Keeley's the 11th, and their thing is the 5th,
6th.
Thursday.
I think Thursday is going to be a flat out presentation.
So like a full stream,
and just whether that's anything related to a Vidoc or not, it's just going to be a flat out. Here's the thing, and then Keeley's is probably going to be a little bit more in depth to just the discussions of how this came to be, what happened with Activision, what did you guys learn all throughout being with Microsoft and now with Sony having laid in bed with both of these major, like what are you trying to do? I think it's going to get into more of like their
good point,
not necessarily Destiny, even because they say the future of Bungie and Destiny too. So
yes, good
and
point.
Then going back and thinking of all of that venture capital that they got for another new IP that is not related to Destiny.
Good point.
I think we're going to hear a lot about just Bungie, just flat out Bungie.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right. The distinction is future of Bungie and Destiny too. So maybe they do talk about that IP. You never know. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
All of that. I mean, that pretty much it's like, I'm thinking, I don't know if a Vidoc would be right. They say tune in. That's got to be a full stream. That's got to be a stream where they talk about it. They've got some directors. I want Luke on there. That's the one I want on Thursday. I want Luke in there. If Luke is sitting next to Deej, I'm just going to like melt in my chair and I'm done. Like,
it's going to be crazy.
Dude, that would be amazing. I don't know if I've ever seen those two sit next to each other ever, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
Because he's usually in like his own box of a video separate, or he'll be in like, he did like one interview before when it was whatever, I forget, Taken King, I think.
Good.
Go ahead.
Just to cut you one second. Good point though by Vagabondo. Thursday specifically says the next chapter of Destiny though, whereas the Coliseum says Bungie, future Bungie and Destiny too. So that's another interesting thing too. What happened? I'm excited. I'm dying to know what's going on. Like, where's this thing heading? What do they got?
We've been speculating what's going to come, like annual pass expansion. Are we waiting? Are we getting it soon? Are we getting it later? Do you talk about D3? What do you do? And they say D2 right now, so that's why it's very D2. Specific. So I think that's probably going to be whatever the next year is. But
which is still odd though, considering the press kit that we, you've got it too. When it came out with Season of the Drifter, they only put out Destiny logos. There were no Destiny 2 logos in there. It was all just straight out Destiny.
Yeah.
And then again, they on the Blizzard launcher they removed the
Mhm.
Activision logo from that, so it's just partnered games now. And then what was the other thing? There was one more, but of course I can't remember.
Mhm.
A lot of interesting stuff.
Interesting
So,
times.
Yeah, so Tuesday starts some crazy with the season, lots of stuff going on, lots of content to play, and then Thursday minds get exploded in a great way with what is to come next. So the future is looking ever bright, at least, because Season of Opulence looks like it's got fun, raid, potential, some variation of crafting and things like that. So many things to look forward to, and then we're a week away from knowing the future, which is so much sooner than I thought it was coming. So I'm just going to be counting the days and the hours that morning.
Reading too much into everything. It's
I know.
So bad. Like Cosmo's reply to somebody on Reddit. He's like, maybe I'm stupid, but like, where do we tune in? And it was just the word everywhere. And I was like, he said everywhere.
He said everywhere.
It's like it's going to be on. Well, if it's everywhere, then
to what we want, what we're all talking about. What do you mean everywhere? Well, dude, YouTube is everywhere.
Yeah, it's like YouTube. So is that where it's like, is it like a Vidoc they do at that point? Like, yeah. So, I think unless you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about, I think, it's like, I know you're probably getting tired, but no, it's been a lot of fun this morning. I know we've been talking a lot. Chat has been great. You guys are always amazing. Again, this will be out on audio, so check iTunes, check Spotify, check those things. I'll get the video up in a couple places on Iron Lord's podcast, and then mine. I get those up usually about a day apart, so all of those things will go out there. But thank you guys. It's been a ton of fun this morning. But before we go, I want to let you, Nyrus, wrap this thing up. Tell people where they can find you, the best place to look for you, and what to expect.
Yeah, she made perfect timing there with her introduction.
Cat.
That was my cat.
Just in time.
Yeah. No, you guys can find me on. Well, you can find anything related to me and all of the infographics that I provide for Destiny at niris.tv, niris.tv. Equally, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Nyrus, MR_Nyrus, NIRIS. And gonna be getting back into some streaming stuff probably soon. Otherwise, just doing the normal stuff, cranking out graphics, talking about nerdy stuff, and
love it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on today. This is a lot of fun.
I almost forgot, actually. I almost forgot.
What's up?
So for our guests, we always have a question. So we got to know top 3 moments for you in your Destiny play time. Whether, you said D1 wasn't much, just your top 3 moments in Destiny that you've experienced.
Okay. Top 3.
I gave him warning, so he had a little time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
top 1 was, and I can't remember what quest this was for. I just remember it because it was my first time in the Vault of Glass.
Oh, what was the name of that?
I've never raided in D1. We had to get those little pieces. You had to fall underneath and then go into that little cavern part, and it was a piece of one of the. Was that for Black Spindle or not, or was that something else? It was towards the latter half of D1.
D1.
D1. I'm blanking right now.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
vault.
You went down into the portal in Vault in the other direction. That hidden quest that people found, that other portal. I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Okay. So, anyways, that was my first taste of like mystery in Destiny, and granted, so that was towards the latter half. But second is immediately the day Whisper came out. I will never ever forget it. I was at work in the middle of the afternoon, just sitting on Twitter like I always do, and I just see this video from this guy that says, "Yo, portal opened up here," like, and now I'm here. I don't know where to go. Anybody seen this before? I was like, boss, I gotta go.
Gotta go now.
Gotta go now. And then probably just beating my first raid ever.
Which one was it?
That would have been Leviathan when it first came in on PlayStation.
Okay.
With a great set of homies and individuals who brought me in and taught me the ways, and hasn't stopped ever since. So yeah, and it really made, like that sense of community. It's what got me here and doing what I do today. So
absolutely,
shout out to those guys if any of them are watching or going to listen.
We gotta love the communal aspect of a raid.
I was gonna say you pretty much encapsulated Destiny with your 3 right there. You had mystery, the community, the raids, and just like the secrets and stuff. Like all of that stuff are those special moments, and yeah, you kind of nailed all of them.
Yeah,
way to set the bar.
Hey.
But yeah, I had to get that one in. I almost forgot, but I know I told it to you. But yeah, we'll ask that for every guest. So we do have I'll give you guys a little tease. We do have a guest coming on the 28th of June, so that one will be coming as well. So that question will get asked again.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we got for today, guys. I did want to get that one in. So the next week is going to be crazy. Stay tuned on Twitter, on my YouTube community feed, just anywhere we can. As soon as we know like the timing of our kind of whatever we can do on Thursday, it's going to happen just whenever we can kind of sit down and knock it out. So Thursday is going to be nuts. We'll talk about the raid. We'll talk about whatever the reveal is. That's going to be a whole thing in itself. So yeah, honestly, like that I'm looking forward to. And you guys know where to find me. It's Ebontis everywhere. EBONTIS, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I barely have an Instagram, so it doesn't really matter. But I also do have a Patreon if you guys do want to support me directly. That's always appreciated. So all those pieces are out there. And then Cognito, what do you got?
Yeah, man, you already know on Twitter. You can find me at Lord Cognito. YouTube is Iron Lord Podcast. This Sunday is the conclusion of our prediction series, so come check it out. We had last 2 weeks we did Sony and Nintendo, and this week it is Microsoft. So you already heard one of my sneak peek hot takes of what I think might happen there. But yeah, check that out, man. Iron Lord Podcast every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have an all-star panel of some Xbox Microsoft royalty in the building. So I believe right now we got Dealer, Gaming, Tim Dog, Randall 4, and maybe just go Windows Central. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But yeah, check us out, man. It should be good. It's 1 week before E3, so speculation is rampant and high. And yeah, man, I'm excited, man. And of course, you already know the last word. And we're trying to shoot for next week, Thursday, and instead of
Thursday after this thing goes. So like, yeah, so it's like 10 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock for you. After that goes live, and before you do your stuff. So mid-afternoon, early evening, whatever we can put that in. Just stay tuned, follow us on Twitter, and you guys will know. Or at least right here on Twitch, hit that follow and the notification. So when we go live, then you can check for it. But it'll be Thursday afternoon, evening sometime when we jump into this one, because damn, I don't even know what to say. So
yeah, I'll be flying out to LA for E3 that next morning.
Man, so, enjoy yourself.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's like the Super Bowl game, and you're busy, you're working hard and prepping, but you once you get to settle and enjoy a little bit, you really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next Thursday with you, E, because who knows what we're gonna be able to talk about right after this reveals.
Yeah, we'll get a feel of like the Menagerie and the raid already, and then that as well. So can't say it's going to be a short one, but we'll try and fit in what we can.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that is all we've got for episode 61. It is May 31st, wrapping this Friday up for you guys. So thank you very much. And so Nairis, what we try and say at the end, we try and get it in sync, is we just say, and I'll say, and this is, and I have to like wait because we're all delayed on timing. We'll say the last word together. So I'm going to say, and this is, and we'll try and say this all together and wrap it up. So it's kind of hard to do. So, all right. So thank you guys for tuning in. And this is the last word.
Yeah. Better than sometimes.